Sorry about that. My camera didn't get going in time, but appreciate y'all for going off the lights, man. I can only do but so much of the lights, especially at this time of the year. So I try to get my break from it, but y'all see me soon enough. There it is. See, no big problem here. Q and Colb here, back at it with another episode. Fun week, right? Football.
That's the way to look at it. That's the way to look at it.
Ask the question. You still try to give him that 1+1?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm good. We're good. We're good.
Good. I remember when I was telling folk, I got called a hater over this, man. Like, I don't know how this happened because I was like, no, Jameis Winston would be better than Deshaun Watson. And they called me a Watson hater for that, right? And then Jameis Winston played. I was like, hey, what we need to understand is that this is short term. He's going to do things that make you feel like this could be longer than that. But as long as we're all understanding that this is a short-term thing with Jameis Winston, we're going to be fine. Everybody was like, you're a hater on Jameis. You don't see the potential. He was a #1 overall pick. So I got deemed a Jameis hater over this whole thing. And now Jameis done showed you what Jameis done showed you. Well, I've been telling everybody, hey, bro, this going to happen with Jameis. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised at anything that I saw. I feel like some people had their spirits crushed over this, and I just want to ask this question. How in the world did you let that man fool you when he has 13 years of evidence of who he is? My man, you know when go ahead, Cole, my bad.
I just want to throw this out. Real quick. 8 interceptions, 3 games.
None of them tip ball. That's the crazy part to me. None of them are tip ball. Like
pure picks.
You know this many interceptions. It's like, nah, man. Couple of these ain't your fault. Nah, Jameis is out here throwing tipless, ballless interceptions, just straight interceptions right into the stomach of these DBs, and like that's just pure right there. Like there's
uncut interceptions. That's it.
None of these interceptions I have seen have been like, hey man, if this thing, because I was thinking about Baker Mayfield, right? A good 30% of them interceptions tip balls, right? He threw it too hard, or if the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage, who knows what could have happened to make that not happen. Man, Jameis is out here making decisions, right? Being inaccurate and throwing these interceptions. I said this during the game. My man did the best Deshaun Kaiser impression I've ever seen. Because didn't that not remind you of what it was like to have Deshaun Kaiser be quarterback? Because remember, Deshaun Kaiser moved you up and down that field. He just do some shit like that in the end zone.
Man, it's just promising drives. Just absolutely destroyed by the worst interceptions you've seen in your life.
just terrorism, right? Just straight up terrorism that he be out here doing, dog. This is why I was telling people that when they were like, hey man, we should all like, hey y'all, if you go. When I hear this phrase with Jameis Winston, this is when I'm starting to get out of here, right? If he can only cut down them interceptions, brother, that is what every coach who's ever coached Jameis Winston has ever said about that man. Going back to Pee Wee, I bet he threw like at least 6 of them, right? Like I bet he was throwing it. Like, can somebody, Curtis, if you can you look up Jameis Winston's Hueytown High School stats? Because I promise you, he threw more interceptions than you would expect a 5-star to throw.
Yeah, I can look it up real quick.
Appreciate that if you could and give us that information, because that's what Jameis Winston does. And you know what, Cole? You want to know when I was out? When were you out? I want to know when you were
out. Which one was it, man? I don't even think it was this game. It might have been the Pittsburgh game, to be completely honest with you. And I was just like, no, yeah. When he threw the pick to the DT, I was like, okay, yeah, no.
the screen got you.
When you throw picks to Keanu Benton, I'm out. 100%.
Yeah, bro.
I'm out.
You know when I was out? Post-game press conference, Denver game. He asked the Lord to deliver him from pick sixes, and we all laughed at it and giggled at it and laughed it off. Do you know what that man just implied? He asking the Lord. He's not throwing tip ball interceptions, mind you. Right? He asking the Lord to deliver him from pick sixes.
And to be fair, the Lord did answer. Hasn't thrown a pick six since.
How you gonna ask the Lord to deliver you from some shit that you doing? Okay? Nah. When I hear that, I'm done. Like, could you imagine in any other scenario in life where that would be a pro? Hey, Cole, if you asked me about your paycheck and I was like, let me ask the Lord to deliver it to you. You like, what the fuck are you talking about? Pay me, right? Like, that's not an answer. That's not an answer.
It's not. It's not.
If your spouse cheated on you and you out there talking about how we gonna fix, it's like, I'm gonna ask the Lord to deliver me from these mistakes. No, you gonna go to therapy, nigga. Like, what you talking about? What you talking about the Lord gonna deliver you from?
Oh, it's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be one of them kind of episodes.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking about? What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Jameis, that's when I was out. I'm like, okay, this man is clearly unserious, man. He done made me so mad. I don't usually drop that bomb in public, right? Like, that's what he done. Dog, when I heard that, I'm like, I can't believe we still rocking with this, dog. This is so unserious. He just asked God to deliver him from pick sixes that he out here doing. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Man, you ever have somebody wrong you and then tell you they asking the Lord to fix it?
Nobody's ever said that to me.
I've had it happen, right? You want to fight every time. You want to fight. I want to be better about giving you your money back. That's why I'm going to church. What church got to do with this? You owe me $30. Like, what, you got a job at church? Like, what you talking about?
This has happened to you multiple times? This has happened to you more than once?
It's happened to me more than once. Yes. I've been intertwined with some very religious people at times, and these people drive you crazy, man. Like, they drive you crazy.
Okay. All right.
You've never had somebody do you wrong and be like, hey, man, I talked to God about it. Hey, bro, I'm going to lose my mind. You never had that?
No.
You are
not even once. Not even once. Not even one time has that happened to me.
Fortunate.
Clearly, I am, because this sounds insane. Like, what does this have to do with anything that we got going on?
Yeah, you go to enough Bible studies, you will live with this shit. Like, you will get this, okay? Like, I used to do cadets, right? Like, yeah, you get into this, right? Yeah, man, I'm all good. I'm all good on that, man. When he out here asking God to deliver him from pick sixes, that's one where I'm like, he's not joking. Like,
in fairness, he did. You know what I'm saying? He did. He hasn't thrown a pick six since. He should have just said interceptions in general, to be completely honest.
Because he know that's too much to ask.
The Lord can only do so much, Q?
Bro, the Lord see that notification pop up on his phone, be like, all right, bro. Like, I'm gonna put my shit on mute. Okay. What in the world are you talking about? Interceptions. You Jameis Winston. This the man that eats W's. Like,
I'm saying the most raw and uncut interceptions ever, too. They're so bad. Yeah. Bro, every single time.
It's uncut Jameis right now.
Nobody needs that.
Dog, it's like I think Bo Body said it was like it's like watching Uncut Gems. Like, every time you see Jameis Winston play, it is like watching Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, because every turn you're like, why is this man making that decision? Like, just get out. Just get out. You won. Throw the ball out of bounds, Jameis. No. He throws it into double coverage in the back pylon. Why?
To Elijah Moore.
Yes. Tell me watching these 6 games that you will see with Jameis has not been exactly up until the ending and exactly at the ending, because this game was the ending of Uncut Gems where you're like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. It shocked you, but it made sense when you thought about it. Like, yeah, that probably would happen. Like, yeah. The Uncut Jameis experiment, man. It ended just how it should. Everybody here was fooled. Oh, well, he turned down the interceptions in New Orleans. Okay. That was half a season. Okay. Like, Jameis is capable of having a hot string of games. No doubt about that. But you about to sit here and tell me that Jameis about to do it for 17. And God forbid, some of y'all was talking about 2 years.
Nah, I was strict on the 1+1. Strict on the 1+1.
Some of y'all was talking about 2 years.
I'm good on that now, too. You have played yourself out of anything meaningful here, sir. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, you know how bad you got to be for me to be like, yeah, you should start DTR.
Man, Kevin was like, I know Kevin been waiting to bench him for so long, bro.
He ain't want to play on to begin with.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't want to do it in the beginning.
Deshaun never got to that point where I'm like, yeah, man, play DTR. I was definitely at play Jameis, right? But DTR? Nah, I'm like, you know, fuck it. We can throw Zap out there. I don't care. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, Jameis.
I was about to ask, how invested are you in chat? Y'all can chime in. How invested are you in this Brown season at this point?
I'm just chopping wood, man, clearing the forest, swinging the axe, getting through it. Right, because this is what it is, right? I'm watching these games because I like to watch football, and there's some stuff I want to see. I want to see Isaiah McGuire continue to be a really good run defender for this team. I want to see what Cam Mitchell does while he's out there at slot, right? Very like diagnostic reasons why I'm watching this game, right? Jerry Jeudy. Like, I'm not watching these games with the hope that, oh yeah, the Browns are going to win, or like, if they win, cool. I'm not really mad at it. I'm not really focused that much in on draft position. I don't really care. And if they lose, okay, not really. Like, I'm not about to be out here ranting about a fucking loss when you're a 3-win team in December. I just think it's hilarious how fast this Jameis went. Like, it is like there was a whole Jameis era in these 5 games. Like, it felt so long, but it was literally like just a supernova.
The highest of highs, the lowest of lows. It was entertaining all the way through.
I was going to say, it wasn't even the lowest of lows, because honestly, like, well, yeah, you lost against the Chiefs. Oh, yeah, well, I expected that.
like the Denver game to me was like the perfect microcosm of everything that Jameis Winston is as a quarterback, man.
Yeah.
Threw for almost 500 yards, almost 500 passing yards. Probably should have had like 6, to be honest with you. Crazy touchdowns, the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my life. And it was fun, man. It was fun, but you can't live like that for 17 games that actually matter.
My thing with Jameis, greatest relief pitcher in the NFL. That's what he is, right? You know, you watch more baseball than me nowadays. But, you know, there's guys on the guards, I bet, where you're like, hey, we got to go to him for a couple innings. I don't mind. But, you know, once that, if your starter only give you 1 inning, and then you got to go to your relief guy, your middle relief guy for 6 innings. Hey, maybe them first 3 innings going to be solid, right? But once you get to 4 or 5, you're like, oh, he might get rocked. And that's the thing with Jameis. Was pretty good in that middle relief stretch, right? Like, if you're a good team and you want somebody who can keep the boat going for a couple of games, if your starter goes down, get Jameis Winston. Because he's going to be able to go in there, keep the boat going, make some crazy plays, have some fun, and then you can put your starter back in. But if you are a team that is looking for a starter, you better stay away from that man, because he is good enough to fool you into thinking it's a decent idea. And it's not a good idea. It is the worst idea for so many reasons, right? The decision making on the field, the stuff that he says off the field, it would all get super old. It's a limited time show. It's kind of like Josh Dobbs. Like, I felt like Jameis learned the playbook and started fucking up. Like,
I don't even know if that's what happened, bro. But it was
it's
funny.
He's been on the team since fucking February, since March. So it's not that, but it's just, he got some coaching points. And the thing is like with Jameis, you got to either let that thing go and let it be raw and uncut and let him do whatever he wants, or not. Because once you start trying to coach him, that's when he starts patting the ball. He stops throwing the ball on instinct, and you're still going to get the interceptions. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
You're not going to coach the interceptions out of him. You're just going to coach the good stuff out of him too. Like, if you throw Jameis Winston out there, you cannot be under the illusion of I can change him. You just have to be like, hey, man, see what you got. Okay? That's and you can only do that but so many games.
With all of that said, still was a lot more fun to watch than Deshaun Watson this year.
I mean, of course, there are a lot of things that were more fun to watch than Deshaun Watson. He sucks. Okay? Like, he stinks. He's not good. He's probably not going to play for the team again. I mean, like, I know they tried to sneak that. You saw that they tried to sneak that report in like it was something new. But they tried to change the words around. Like, you're not fooling me, dog. That's the same thing Albert Breer said when he go compete for the job. And that's a nice way of saying, he not coming back.
Yeah, if you go from unquestioned starter to has to compete for the starting job.
Hey, remember we were talking about this when like Kevin had to reaffirm that Deshaun was a starter. I'm like, nothing tells me that he's about to lose his job more than Kevin having to do that, because that's not some shit you do when you about to keep somebody as a starter. Right? Like, when you answering them questions, like Jameis Winston, the fact that he declined to name a starter, the fact that he was answering these questions last week, I told you, I'm like, yeah, DTR is probably going to start by the time we get to Cincinnati. And I don't know if it's been made official yet, but I have pretty good word that it's about to be made official.
Oh, it's official.
Okay. Yeah, they made it official now. But yeah, that's where the Browns are. And it's been a fascinating season. Deshaun Watson stuff aside, Jameis Winston stuff aside. We're gonna have to look at the draft with this team. I'm team get a fucking dude, right? If a dude is there, right, and I don't care if it fits your positional need or not. If you identify a dude, Mason Graham, right, like one of these capital D dudes at the top of this draft, go ahead, get them. Don't waste no time.
Here we go. Now we're talking my language. Don't
waste no time.
Real quick rant. People on Twitter annoy the shit out of me because I said, hey, look, the Browns not good enough to worry about what position dudes play. I'm sorry. Like, they're not. They're not good enough to worry about that.
Also, to add to that, it doesn't even matter if you're good enough to worry. The best draft picks are just when you take somebody you think is really just, this is the philosophy with the draft. It does not matter what the positional value is for a player unless all things are tied, right? If you're saying there's a dude at guard and there's an equal size dude at tackle and there's a dude at like edge, okay, I'm going to take the guard or the tackle, right? If they're all really, really good. But if there's somebody you're telling me is like, hey, man, he could be Micah Parsons. Hey, man, he could be White Aaron Donald. Hey, man, he could be whatever you think that guy could be. And then the other guy's like, yeah, he might be a good guard. Am I stupid? Like, why would I do that? If you had a chance to take Julio Jones or Eric Steinbach, who you taking?
Julio.
Because you want the dude. You gotta go ahead and get you want Myles Garrett, or you want to go ahead and get Darius Slay. like I'm taking Miles.
I feel like people it just irritates me when we have these conversations. Positional value is a myth, bro. It's a myth. It's not a thing. It's not a real thing, man. It's really not. It's not. Like, there's good football players and there's guys who aren't good football players. I think that's literally all it is. You know who takes the good football players every year?
Good teams.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Good teams take good players. Hey,
The Baltimore Ravens.
Kyle Hamilton.
They're like a fan. And
we just signed Marcus. Yeah, Kyle Hamilton
and Linderbaum too. Linderbaum too.
Linderbaum.
They said, oh, you
The Ravens have needed a wide receiver for like 25 years. They're not taking one until that wide receiver is also best player available, or at least in the packet of best players available. That's how you do the draft, right? Free agency is where you address all of your positional needs. If you really need a starter, go ahead and get a known commodity. The draft is for talent, and talent trumps position every time. You want talent more than you want somebody who plays the right position, because it doesn't matter if somebody plays a position of need if they're not talented. Hey, Siaki, you can play the position of need. Does anybody care about that pick?
No.
It's a bad pick, right? Like, that is always the number one determining factor of what you do in the draft if you are a smart team. If you're a bad team, go ahead and do that. I've seen the Browns draft for need and fuck up drafts after drafts. Justin Gilbert, we needed a corner. Yeah. Why?
That's how you get Justin Gilbert over Aaron Donald.
That just made me furious.
That's what I'm saying. Listen,
I love Aaron Donald. Okay.
Positional value is how you end up with results like that instead of just taking whoever the best player is. I'm going to say it right now. If Mason Graham is there when they pick, they need to take him. Just take him. What's the worst that can happen? You have a defensive line with Mason Graham and Mike Hall and Myles Garrett for the next 5 years?
Also, here's the thing. You draft a good player, nobody gives a fuck about what round they were taking him.
No.
That's like my number one thing about the draft is like, hey, if Jed Wills was good, then nobody would be complaining about Andrew Berry, right? Like, the perception of Andrew Berry is going to change dramatically or going to be painted by what he does this offseason. Because, like, look, if you get Mason Graham, if Mason Graham's great, nobody's going to care that you might have needed a different position. Like, what were the Browns' needs in 2017? Does anybody care? You got Myles Garrett. Who gives a fuck? Like, if the player is good, he's going to outlive your needs, right? Like, that's the whole thing with like Ashton Jeanty. We're like, oh, well, you don't have an offensive line. Draft them and build the fucking offensive line after you draft them. Like, there's one dude in the draft that runs the ball like that. And this is an amazing class. And like, everybody's like, this class is amazing. There's multiple Pro Bowlers, but that guy reminds me of LaDainian Tomlinson. Okay, like, there's a clear difference here, right? Like, this isn't somebody like Bijan. Bijan was the top running back of a weak class. No. This is the strongest running back class we have seen in generations. And they're like, no, that man, that's the best dude. He almost, look at all the stuff Travis Hunter did, and he almost took that Heisman from Travis. Travis Hunter out here getting the Biletnikoff and with the DB award, right? Like, sweeping all these awards, and he was like, I don't know, man. Jeanty. Brother, he did that. He did 200 yards against Oregon at Boise State. Got Boise State as a top 3 seed. And it ain't because they got other players. I watch Boise play. They got some decent guys on that line of scrimmage. But it's Jeanty. Okay, like... Yeah, just all of this debate about positional value and everything that we get wrapped up into, it ends up mattering only for the pre-draft conversation and like a little bit of post-draft. Like, was Nick Chubb great positional value in the second round? Does anybody care?
Nobody cares.
Hey, Austin Corbett was amazing positional value. We excited about that one? I could go through a list. Right? I could go through a list of, hey, Denzel Ward. Hey, people say that you don't take corners in the top 5. We happy about that pick?
Ecstatic.
Well, just get a good player. Like, all this draft stuff, I get it. We it's a whole market, and we study it, and we want to like add things to it. But at the end of the day, we cannot forget that this shit is about getting somebody who's good at football. It's not about roster construction. It's just about getting a really good football player. That's what every draft is about. Yeah, the Cavs took Darius Garland at the fucking college section because they was like, hey, Darius Garland's really good, though. And they're working out. Oh, do we need another big? Fuck it. We'll take Evan Mobley. We'll figure the rest out. Worked out pretty good for the Cavs. If you're the Browns, just draft the good players. Just take them. Take them. Yeah. Do you need Mason Graham on your defensive line? No, but if you have Mason Graham on your defensive line, Mike Hall looks like a fucking monster out there. You got Myles Garrett, Isaiah McGuire out here with the best run grade of all edge rushers in the NFL right now. Hey, you might got something on that defensive line.
Who knows? Don't have to worry about it for 5 years. That would be kind of nice, right?
Hey,
Nice.
you'll have the best defensive football for the next 2 years at least. And you know what having the best defense in football gets you? A lot of margin of error on offense. You know what's a quarterback's best friend? I will make this argument until I'm blue in the face. Everybody talks about quarterback help. Nobody mentions how a great defense helps mediocre quarterback play. It is the number one thing that helps mediocre quarterback play because it gives you so much margin for error.
How do you think they made the playoffs in 2023?
Look, you look at every ass quarterback that has ever won a Super Bowl. There's a great defense behind them. Nick Foles,
not even
how'd that
just
happen?
great, not even just great defenses.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, it's like one of the 10 best defenses we ever seen.
Denver Broncos.
Literally one of the 10 best defenses ever.
Carried the carcass of Peyton Manning. And the reason that happens is because more than a good wide receiver, more than a good running back, more than a good offensive line, more than a good whatever. What saves you as a quarterback is getting more chances. Like, oh, game not over. Like, 3 interceptions, they got 3 stops. Game's not over. Like, all of a sudden, all the flaws of your average quarterback become a lot more bearable when it don't cost you nothing. That's what getting an elite defense gets you. So I am team get a dude. Whoever that dude is, get that dude. Right? I know Corey is really high. I forget the edge rusher's name, but he's like 6'6". It's not Michael Williams, but it's somebody else.
Shamar Stewart.
Yeah. Get a fucking guy.
Corey's super high. Shamar. He's like 6'6". He's like 290. He's like 6'6", 295.
Yeah.
He don't move like a dude who's 295.
Yeah, imagine having 2 guys like that.
Basically is what he's arguing. They also played at Texas A&M.
And also, like imagine having that plus, Miles is not the biggest edge rusher you have anymore. And think about that. Think about the statement there. If somebody is bigger and as athletic as Myles Garrett, not as bendy. Nobody will ever be as bendy as Myles Garrett.
He's not flexible like that, but he is very explosive to be that big.
And then you got guys, Alex Wright coming off the bench, pretty good player. Isaiah McGuire proving himself to be a really good player. Hell, your boy Jawan Briggs was out there hooping the last couple of games. Like
my dog.
Yeah, Dalvin Tomlinson, Mike Hall. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Like, yeah, fuck it. We could have Sam Darnold out there throwing the ball, whoever the fuck throw it. We can have Dylan Gabriel out there throwing the ball, and it might work out, dog, because the defense is negative. Why you think they're getting away with Bo Nix in Denver right now? It ain't the offense.
Denver got 2 defensive player of the year candidates.
Like how isn't this not conventional wisdom? I don't understand it. It's so obvious. Sam Darnold right now.
Crazy defense. Crazy defense. Crazy defense. Take Mason Graham, man.
We see all of this evidence that, hey, man, if you have a really good defense, it really lowers the bar of what you get away with at quarterback. And every time I gotta get answered by, well, technically you gotta get a better guard. Fuck guard. Get the best player you could get, man. Like you can get a guard in the second round. That's the other thing that I have an issue with talking about the draft in the offseason with. Cole, why do we act like these needs can only be addressed in the first round?
Bro, they got 4 picks in the top 100. I'm gonna be real with you. They probably gonna have more picks in the top 100 by the time draft game.
Yeah, if you get to your pick and none of those dudes are available, trade back and get some guys, right? But if they better not trade back from getting a dude, I'm gonna be mad. That will be my last straw with Andrew Berry.
Hold on, because I think there is a situation.
Get the fucking guy.
Listen to me.
Get the fucking guy.
There's a situation where I think it can work out, but they got to be picking higher than they're picking right now.
Let's say they got the third pick. What's your situation?
See, if they get the third pick, right? They get the third pick.
And I think if they get the third pick, who would be projected to get the first pick is like the Carolina Panthers.
No, I think it's the Raiders and the Giants in 1 and 2 still, right?
No, because the Raiders still got to play the Jaguars. The Raiders and the Jaguars play each other. So like one of those teams is going to get an extra win. It is let me pull it up real quick.
Because I think we have the 6th pick right now.
We got like the 7th. Yeah, but if the Browns lose out, okay, so like if the Browns lose out, let's go here. You would expect what? The Colts versus the Titans. Titans might win that. Colts might win that. Both those teams are ass. Let's see right here. Who else is probably? Oh, the Jaguars and the Raiders play each other. The Panthers play the Cardinals. You probably take the Cardinals there, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I think that's all the teams on Cheek Watch. And yeah, Curtis, I said it.
Cheek Watch.
Yeah, I can just see Curtis. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Then the Jaguars play Tennessee. Again. The Browns do play the Dolphins. The Browns, I think the Browns are probably going to get somehow to 5 wins, maybe. But if the Browns lose out, like the Panthers play the Bucks aren't losing that game. And then we get to week 18 and the Jaguars play the Colts. The Jaguars could realistically win 6 games.
That would be hilarious.
I know that would drive JP crazy. So I'm gonna hope that doesn't happen, right? Because I did mention to him that it's very possible that they could be the Cliff Kingsbury team this year. And I thought he was going to unfollow me. He was like, "Come on, man."
Listen, that would be torture. That would be torture. That would
be hell, man. And then the Falcons play the Panthers at the end of the season. The Panthers aren't going to likely win. So yeah, if the Browns lose out, and the Raiders play the Chargers at the end of the season. The Texans play the play the Titans. So if you get to the top of the draft, the Patriots also play a bunch of teams that are going to beat them. So right now, I think if the Browns lose out, the Panthers and the Patriots could be the first 2 picks, which is a very interesting situation.
So that means that we have the 3rd pick.
Yeah. So in that scenario.
Trading down would actually not bother me so much.
Where are you trying to trade down to?
That's the $1 million question. It just because it depends on who's behind him. And who's trying to get Shador, which is the Raiders. So what pick would the Raiders have in this scenario?
Oh, and I'm just gonna make my stance clear on this. If the Browns are in a position to draft Shador or trade Shador, the rights to Shador to somebody, I'm team. Yeah, let's see if somebody want to move up from the top 8 to get Shador, let them get him. Because I'm not 100%. In full belief that that's going to be your answer at the quarterback position.
Listen, I'm a Shador believer, but I'm a Cleveland Browns fan first. And if the Raiders want to trade some assets to come get Shador, you are more than welcome to do that.
Yeah.
More than welcome to do that.
Because if the Raiders end up, because there's so many teams that are bad this year, but if the Raiders end up with the 8th pick, maybe you can get that trade, move back, knowing that you can move up for a guy if he drops to out the top 5. But if we're talking about move to 15, I'm out.
Oh no.
I'm not moving out the top 10.
Preferably, we move back. We get the 3rd pick, you move back to right outside the top 5.
Oh, you got to blow me away too, right? Because like if you're trying to jump in front of, because like right now the scenario would be, this would be the best case scenario for the Browns from a trade back perspective, right? Because the Patriots, Panthers not taking quarterbacks.
No, Mason Graham might not be there. Mason Graham might not be there. To be 100%.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a number 1 overall pick to the Patriots.
Like Mason Graham might not be there. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah. Mason Graham is gone. Mason Graham is gone.
That changes everything. He might
Mason Graham,
low key. Travis might be the one that goes first.
I think Travis goes first if it's the Panthers. The Panthers have
Patriots.
I don't think it's going to be the Patriots that do it. I know Gerard Mayo, defensive coordinator, people kind of link to that. Here's the thing about Travis Hunter. One, has issues staying healthy.
True.
Every single level of college football he's played at, which is a big concern, right? Availability. He's a really, really good corner prospect. He's a really, really good wide receiver. Are you going to use him as both? Answer's probably no. Probably going to make him a DB. Maybe he returns some kicks. But even then, you're making a player who's already going to have a little bit of an injury history play more snaps and get tackled. So, like, do you want to expose him to that? So you kind of got to look at him as just a corner. And he's a really, really good corner. Really special corner. But he's a corner with injury history. That's usually not somebody who would go number 1 overall. If the Panthers get that pick, though, the Panthers will absolutely do it. And the reason I think that is because that is a team that makes decisions that result in butts and seats. Okay? And no pick is putting asses in seats like Travis Hunter. So they are absolutely the team. And I'm like, nah, they will take him. He's not getting past the Panthers there. And you know what? The Panthers are wacky enough to say, we're going to play him on both sides. Like they're going to try this whole thing out in the NFL. Patriots got Mason Graham written all over them. They're going to take Mason Graham. Now, the only thing that they might do is do the thing where you got a quarterback. It's like, we need to get the offensive line to get super offensive line peeled and like take a tackle. It'll be an ill-advised decision. But teams do it all the time, right? Where it's like, oh, we need to protect our guy. Let's get a tackle.
I can see them taking Will Campbell.
Yeah. And then moving him to guard like sheepishly in 2 years. Like, because you draft the number 1 overall, you got to act like you think that's a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to at least pretend. And then sheepishly, you move him inside. Like, I'm going to move him inside, man. Like, and it's going to work out once you move him inside. But, yeah. The Patriots, Panthers, I feel like there's a chance you get Mason Graham there at 3, but I also think if you're right in front of the Giants, who everybody in the world thinks is going to take a quarterback, I don't know how to gauge this quarterback market, Cole, because people are telling me that 2 quarterbacks can go in the top 5, and Sam Darnold's going to get $40 million a year. I can't imagine that 3 teams think that individually those 3 things are a good idea.
I'll say this. Drafting Cam Moore in the top 5 is not something I would do. That's honestly, I think that's probably the worst decision of the 3. Because I can see where I can see like drafting Shedeur in the top 5.
In agreement about that, right?
And be perfectly fine with it. Like if you took Shedeur in the top 5, I think you're good. I think you're in a good spot. I think he's going to be good. Like, I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I really do.
I disagree. Even the people who are highest on Shedeur don't have him in their top 10 prospects. That's a big red flag to me.
He's gonna get drafted in the top 5 though. And well, top 10.
I'm saying like it feels like a reach in the top 5 for him. Like I think best case scenario, he becomes like maybe he's Geno Smith, maybe like best case he's Dak. Right. But I don't know if that's the most likely scenario for him. Like, especially if he's going to be put in a situation where he's going to have to play early. If I know the Sanders family, they're going to insist that he plays early. This man has never sat on the bench at any point of his football playing life. I don't think they plan to start right now. And then also, he's going to be put in a situation where like he's going to have a bad offensive line. Whatever bad happens he had at Colorado, he's probably going to have him. Like I think there's a lot to go wrong there. I'm not as high on Shedeur as other people are. Maybe I'll feel differently once I get through all of his all 22 because I haven't looked at that yet. So there is that. Maybe I'll look at the all 22 and be Shedeur peeled like everybody else. But from what I've seen of him, I'm like, I'm not really there with him. But even then, I'm like, I think it's a tough sell him in the top 5, to be honest. Like, he doesn't have top 5, like traditional top 5 quarterback traits. Like, he's really accurate. The arm strength is not terrible, but it's not like amazing. Like, Deshaun went 12th, and like, don't think about Deshaun in 2024, but think about like coming out of Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
Right.
He went 12th in that draft, and he had similar concerns and similar pros that Shedeur had, but he played in the ACC, and he was constantly in the playoffs, and he played against really good competition. Those things aren't there for Shedeur. The athletic stuff, he's not as athletic as Deshaun was coming out. Like, I just, as a prospect, he does not feel like a quarterback prospect that should go in the top 5 to me. He feels like late first round guy, right? Like, that's kind of the feel I get for him. And I think the best case scenario for him is kind of what you would align with best case scenario for a late first round guy. Because if we're like talking about Geno Smith, we're talking about like Dak Prescott, usually like we're not drafting Caleb Williams saying, hey man, he could be Geno. He could be Dak. You're drafting Caleb Williams thinking he can reset the paradigm. So that's my one issue with him in the top 5 is like, usually with the top 5 prospect, you're a bit more bullish on, but when we're like at this place where we're kind of lukewarm on what that top prospect can be, it usually isn't a great idea. So I'm not a big fan of that in the top 5, but hey, if somebody wants to do it, I can see how they can be talked into it. It's the Sanders family. He has some really good college tape from what I hear. He's very accurate. He's going to interview amazing. Like that kid's going to interview spectacularly.
He's going to kill all the like,
the
draft process stuff, the interviews, meeting.
When you put that kid in front of the money, he going to kill it. He know how to be in front of the money. Deion taught him anything. Okay. He know how to talk to the money. Like, your owner's gonna love this fucking kid. Like that.
Don't let him get in front of Jimmy Haslam.
No, you know who you already know what's up, bro. You already know what's up. He already talking to Mark Davis, man. They know what the scam is. I be telling people. I'm like, nobody sees a mark like Deion Sanders does. And what has he been doing? Get real close, right? What did a video of him talking to Mark? When they was at like some event in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's talking to Shedeur.
Yeah, that's not a mistake. He knows who the mark is. Like that's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. If the Browns are ahead of the Raiders,
the Raiders are going to be the one that does.
They're going to trade up for. They're going to trade up for him.
Yeah,
they're going to trade up for him.
The Raiders are going to be the one.
The Browns to be the beneficiary.
Yeah.
Of them trading up. That's all I want.
That's my thing. I only do this if I'm robbing the Raiders. Okay. like if somebody competent comes up calling that phone, I'm like, I don't know. I might need to draft this motherfucker. Like, maybe I'm wrong about it. If somebody comes up and I think they know what they doing. But if it's the Raiders that want to move up, oh yeah, take them. Yeah, so 3 first round picks.
49ers. If the 49ers call,
Kyle Shanahan or Matt LaFleur or one of these guys who knows what they doing, like if the Ravens or the Steelers call up, talk about Shedeur, I'm taking them. Fuck you. Okay. Like, there's something up. Like, yeah. But if it's like the Panthers or like what, maybe the Raiders, maybe you could throw the Jets in there. Okay. Yeah. Y'all want to do that? Cool. It's gonna cost you 3. It's gonna cost you 3, buddy. Hey, 3, and I want either a player or a third. You decide. Give me Max Crosby. Give me Max Crosby. I'm gonna swing back and I'm gonna get Mason Graham, and we just gonna have all of America on that defensive line running for the Browns. Right? We're gonna have the USA team on that damn defensive line.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it where it's Max, Mike Hall, and then Mason, and then Miles.
Like in a gradient. Yeah, like in a gradient. Or like it's just split down the middle. You got Ohio State, Michigan on one side.
Ooh.
You got dude who was like cut off a team and giving up on versus the guy who nobody's ever thought once about giving up on in Myles Garrett. You got everything this country has to offer in every shade that this country offers you it in. Okay. And let me tell you something, brother. That's a defense that can bring America together. Okay. You ever think about the fact the Browns could have had TJ Watt and Myles Garrett in the same draft class? Think about where this country would be if they did that, man. The Browns had a chance to save the country. Okay.
Sasha Brown, man.
No, they went to rivals, so now we at war. But if they could have just had that together, the country would be like, hey, man, look at that. That's beautiful. That's what the dream was about. It wasn't, but that they're gonna make it seem like it was like
it wasn't.
It wasn't. It's a misinterpretation of that speech, but that's what y'all think it is, right? Like
oh man.
Could you imagine?
Okay, so we touched on it, so we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it now. Because I got into a discussion, we'll call it like that, a discussion with one man named Ken Carmen.
Uh-oh.
People may or may not know in here. But I was tweeting, basically saying, like, I quoted somebody. I said, hey, man, I need y'all to understand, outside of Shador, there's no QB in this draft class that can help the Browns. It's really Shador and then a bunch of dudes they shouldn't take. At least not take high, in my opinion. Ken responded. He was like, well, get comfy because they're going to take somebody. And I was like, I'm not mad at them taking somebody. It's just more so like where they take them.
Oh, I don't care if you take him third round or later.
Like Jackson Dart, I'm not mad at that.
I gotta watch him. I have not watched. I have not watched him, but that name makes me feel like he's not gonna be good. No dude, a dude named Dart like plays 4 years in the NFL. Like it's pretty decent.
I know Kai is super high on him.
Oh, Kai is. I gotta talk to Kyrie about it. I gotta watch the film. I finally got access to the all 22 for college, so I'm gonna be. I've been doing that in my free time. I was doing that on Drew Allure. Right, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, I like that tape." Ohio State tape.
Really, you liked it? You liked it,
especially when Corey's 19.
Corey's been like,
See, it's mixed, right? Because Dalton loves him, right? Corey doesn't. I like him. I see him. Like, I get the mistakes and the things that he's doing, but I'm like, I could project that like out, and I think he's gonna be fine. And also, I don't want to overreact to some of the mistakes in this college tape because I feel like that happens a lot with players where we kind of make these assumptions about them and then the assumptions don't end up being super accurate. I think like there's enough in that skill set. He's 6'5". He had to cut weight to get from 250 to 235. So big motherfucker, certified big motherfucker right there. Throws that ball really well. His footwork isn't great, but he's 19. Yeah, I think he gets away with just arming it sometimes, right? Like he's used to just being able to whip the ball wherever he wants. But the quality of throws he's capable of making, you just teach that kid some footwork, get him comfortable in the pocket, get that man in that program, put that man in the Stefanski pantry. I think something can happen with him. I think you got to put him in the right system too. But yeah, I think there's something there. There's absolutely something there with Allard.
I thought it was smart for him to go back to school though. That was smart. I think that was smart.
Smart for him. It wasn't smart for me. I wanted to see him get on a discount, right? If he stayed, well, I don't know, because the problem with going back to school with Penn State is they seem to have a lot of NFL players leaving.
They do.
And like, if I were him, I would consider hitting the portal. Now I know he's not. I would consider hitting the portal because also Penn State runs some Mickey Mouse bullshit on that offense. You know how many times I saw that man motion into the quarterback position? Yeah. I'm like, I just hate what they do offensively at Penn State. Some bullshit that they do there. But you get that kid, a good coach, because we know James Franklin is what James Franklin is. Get that kid a good coach. I think you could do something with him. Now, will he be like one of the best QBs in the NFL? Is he going to be Josh Allen? I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he's always going to have a level of inconsistency with him. But you can win with that dude if you develop him properly. I think, especially if he builds upon that film in 2025. Also, look at he's improved every year. He's gotten more snaps, which I think does matter, right? Because you're also projecting how well can this kid learn and how hard does this kid work. And I think he's demonstrated that too.
I know one of the big things that people were talking about when they were just like evaluating him or, watching all of his college games was like, doesn't really turn the ball over ever. Doesn't even really put the ball in harm's way. Mm-hmm. And that could be a function of the offense he's playing in and what they're asking him to do as well. Yeah. But if they put a little bit more on his plate next year and just like allow him to do a little bit more at that position and have a little bit more control over where the offense is going, and he still maintains I think it was like less than 2% turnover worthy plays or something like that.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
He also they have a two hitch rule at Penn State, right? Where you're not allowed to hitch more than twice without dumping it off to the running back. So I think a lot of that offense is built in to kind of limit turnovers. They play such a soft, safe style at Penn. Mm-hmm. They're the Intercontinental champions for a reason, right? Even when they have great talent, they play themselves out of it because they're just so afraid to lose at Penn State. Their philosophy on winning, I think, is outdated. But yeah, I would, if I were him, I would consider hitting the portal, going somewhere that's got a bunch of fucking dudes at wide receiver that you could throw 50-50 balls to and demonstrate that you can consistently throw the ball over the middle of the field, and that you have, because he doesn't get to show the ability to hitch, reset, hitch again, throw the ball downfield, because I think he has that ability. I just think Penn State does not allow him to do that because of that two hitch rule. I would love for him to hit the portal. He's not. But if he could go somewhere that plays like a real NFL offense, that also has some guys at wide receiver, if he could go to a Alabama or a Texas or something like that. If he was a quarterback at Texas right now, I'd be he'd be the number 1 overall pick. That's how I feel about him, where I'm I don't know, that dude can play. Now, this is where I was hey, man, if he declares and he falls to second, I am happy with that. Okay. But now he's not going now you got to work out. You got to get him to do some kind of funky shit to be able to get to him, or you got to trade for him, right? Because if the Browns want to keep everybody they have, they cannot be bad enough to get him in the top 5 next year, right? They're going to have to be able to make a move or something like that to go get him. But yeah, I think there's a lot there. This ain't Christian Hackenberg. This is definitely not that. But yeah, I think that, and look, I'm trying to look at these prospects through a different lens too, to answer your question, where it's some of these guys, because they are notified, certified mid, we're just going to go, okay, they throw them out. But I do have to ask the question, okay, Dylan Gabriel does not excite me in the first 2 rounds or the first 2 days of the draft. But is that somebody that potentially you get in the right system and he can run the system? I think potentially, yes, there's the case that he could do that, right? Not going to be spectacular, but hey, I need somebody that's good enough to not get everybody fucking fired, right? That is the bar for quarterback right now. You need a middleman. You don't need a franchise guy, because the franchise guy is going to be in 2027. So if you're the Browns, you need something to be able to get you to a point to where you can win enough games so nobody loses their job. And you have to ask yourself, okay, can you Bo Nix this thing with Dylan Gabriel? I think the answer could be yes, if you get a strong enough defense, right? It's about building around the quarterback position. That if the Browns want quarterback help, build the strongest defense you can get, spend some picks at guard, and get you a running back. That's going to be what helps your quarterback.
Yeah, man, I think since you mentioned that, I think I'm in on Jackson Dart as being that guy.
That's who you think that guy is? I gotta look at him.
I think that's who this guy is.
Look, I got time to look at all these guys.
You could just look at his stats. It's 68% completion percentage, over 3,800 yards, almost 3,900. 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 1.7% interception percentage. I need to see some of the advanced numbers on here. They're not gonna have it on here. But yeah, man, if you're gonna take a risk on somebody like that, they're like day 3, we talking like 5th round, maybe 4th if you want to get like frisky.
No, like absolutely 4th. No, you want to spend more than what you spent on DTR.
Okay, then yeah, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, 4th.
Might go higher than I want him to, but if he's there in the 4th round, I think the Browns should do that.
4th, your last third, that's the Buffalo third. I ain't got no problem with it. Like, why not? Like they should like, there's a difference between drafting somebody to be the future of the franchise and thinking, hey, this guy could be decent, and just leaving it at that. Because right now, I'll fucking take decent. Okay. Like, no, we're not in a position to decline could be decent at the quarterback position, because like, even if you go out and you get Sam Darnold, there is no guarantee that that's going to be what you want it to be. In
fairness, I do think Sam could be a lot better than worst quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Easiest bar to clear in the league right now. Easiest bar to league.
You know, I'm famously not a Jimmy Garoppolo guy, but I'd be cool with it. like if it meant that was what's keeping me from starting Watts, I'm like, yeah, just go ahead, Jimmy G. Right. I think if you go after like a Kirk Cousins, you need to be real and go ahead and, like, if you want to do the Steelers thing, you got to do the Steelers thing, which is, okay, you got to get wash Kirk Cousins. Because right now, I said this on Blue Sky, where it was like, I don't even think Kirk Cousins is mid anymore, dog. He's that shit at the bottom of your grinder. Like, he's shake. Like, that's what he is. And maybe you can smoke it. Like, I don't know. Like,
do they go after Justin Fields?
Well, I wouldn't do Justin Fields because I think Justin Fields does the thing that Kevin hates, which is not throw where his eyes are supposed to be and not be on time. Yeah. Like, you have to identify what your coach's pet peeves are if you want to go out and get a quarterback. Like, Pat Mahomes works really well with Andy Reid. I think part of the reason that was able to blossom the way it did is because Andy Reid don't give a fuck if you do some crazy shit. If Pat Mahomes got drafted to Kyle Shanahan, he would not be Pat Mahomes.
Nah.
Because let me tell you, Kyle ain't dealing with that. Right? Like, the second you throw across your body, Kyle gonna bench you. So it's part of, like, okay, you gotta get somebody whose flaws you're okay with. That's the thing with Kevin. I know what he doesn't like. I don't know what he prefers. And, like, I would think maybe they go spend a super low flyer on, like, a Malik Willis, bring in Kirk Cousins, and that's their version of Russ and Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, every single solution at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. You going?
Yeah.
This is that kind of year, bruh. Like, this ain't the year where you like, oh yeah, we need to go get this guy. You arguing about the 3 best quarterbacks and which one you want the Browns to do. This is not arguing about Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Josh Allen. Okay, this is, or whoever threw Josh Rosen in there, right? This is, okay, well, we don't have money to fix this car, but we do have enough money to get it going. What should we fix? Like, because this thing need to get back on the road. So I think if you adjust your expectations, round 3 makes some sense for the quarterback. Again, unless there's a fucking guy there. If Harold Fain is there and, like, Dylan Gabriel's there, I'm taking Harold. Fuck that. Like,
of course.
Yeah,
man, I've seen Harold get some first round buzz lately, and it's already irritating.
It's gonna fluctuate. It's gonna fluctuate.
So much, I was like, no, come on.
It's gonna fluctuate so much between now and the draft. Like, I remember the ride I went on with fucking Roger Rosengarten last year, where I thought legitimately the Browns could get him in the 3rd round, in the 4th round, and then he went in the 2nd to Baltimore. Like, because nobody was like, he's gonna go in the 2nd. It's gonna fluctuate. The Senior Bowl might change it. The what's it called? The NFLPA Bowl? No, it's the
East West Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, the East West Bowl might change it. Like, so many things are going to go up and down. There's going to be somebody who runs like a crazy 40 at the tight end position and jumps up boards. It's going to be a mess. We'll see what happens, right? Remember how we felt about the last dude to come out of Bowling Green?
Carl Brooks.
Yeah. No way he gets past the fourth. Sixth round. How the fuck that happened? Right? Like something happens. Like he might have medical something.
Shouldn't have, but it did.
Hey, I wanted the Browns to take him.
I wanted the Browns to take him too. Right in the backyard.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's going to be something to think about for the Browns going forward. Is like, okay, we need to stabilize the position. Can we get somebody who could be a middleman, right?
Hey, man, I have to look up the NFL free agent QBs.
Oh yeah, Jameis Winston's like number 3 available guys.
Like just listen to these. These are unrestricted free agents.
Yes.
Sam Darnold.
Uh-huh.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Trey Lance.
I keep hearing people bring that up.
Jacoby
That
Brissett.
man failed spectacularly in a Shanahan system. Jacoby Brissett. Hey, look, I'm going to let y'all know right now, you're probably ending up with Jacoby Brissett somewhere on this roster.
Yeah, probably. Taylor Heineke.
You know, it's not the craziest thing in the world.
It's not the craziest thing in the world.
It's not.
It's not the craziest thing in the world. Marcus Mariota.
No.
Drew Lock.
He got benched for Tim Boyle, man. And you know how ass Tim Boyle is.
Yeah. Jarrett Stidham.
No Jarrett Stidham.
Andy Dalton, Justin Fields.
No Andy Dalton. I mean, I can see you being convinced into Andy Dalton, but no Andy Dalton. Justin Fields, you got to have a serious conversation with Kevin about if he's okay with the flaws that Justin Fields brings to the table.
Facts. Joe Flacco, Jameis, Mac Jones.
Hey, man. Joe Flacco still trying to play football?
I don't think he's still. I don't know.
Hey, look. The thing, Joe Flacco and Jameis, they both got benched this year. Okay, you take those dudes away from an elite defense, and then all of a sudden, all their flaws start to matter.
Hold on, Jimmy G, Case Keenum.
Okay, well,
Mason.
Yeah,
Mason Rudolph.
No.
Oh man, it's all bad, man. It is.
We're not about to bring that man in that room with Miles.
It's all bad after that.
Imagine you saw Mason Rudolph. First thing Miles gonna do is like, all right, you gonna admit to it?
You'll be like, no. No.
What are you talking about?
That's gonna be the end of that.
Oh yeah, and then Miles gonna have a second helmet swinging instead. Yeah, no, that's definitely all your no options there. So, hey, got to figure it out. This is the hole that Kevin and AB have dug themselves. A lot of people talk about accountability. This is accountability to me. Dig yourself out this mess, right? Like if you get fired after you create a big ass mess, that's not accountability. But you know what? A lot of craziest lessons I've learned have been after my parents have decided, oh no, you're cleaning that. Like, okay, like, you're fixing that thing that you broke. Oh yeah, you broke that window. You're gonna learn how to install windows now. Like that is getting held accountable. So hey, if they get out of this, they're gonna learn some fucking lessons. But it's up to them to get out of this. Got to figure it out. Because you can't win 3 games next year and think everything gonna be cool breezy. Nobody gonna get fired. Nah, everybody gets fired. Everybody, you might get fired before the season ends. So you're the Browns, right? I like to have continuity. I think the good teams have continuity, but you got to win enough to justify the continuity, and you got to figure out a way next year to win. You ain't got to win like 14 games. You ain't gotta be one of the best teams in the NFL. But I bet Jimmy Haslam's like, hey man, the Broncos figured it out. They won 10 games with fucking Bo Nix. The Minnesota Vikings lost their starter. They won 12 games with Sam Darnold. Like, yeah, it's a tough spot, but you're supposed to be good at your job, so be good at your job and fix this. Win some games. And if they win games next year, we're gonna feel really good. We're gonna be all right, cool. Now we can legitimately get to 2027 and get us a real quarterback. But you want to figure this shit the fuck out for the next couple of years, bro. Hey.
Got to figure this out in 2025 and 2026.
Hey, we gonna find out about Andrew Berry this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Back against the wall. Okay. Back against the wall. The one thing I give credit to Kevin for, every time Kevin's back against the wall, he be coaching his ass off. Okay. He be like, yeah, I'm gonna put PJ Walker here. I'm gonna fucking put DTR right there. You know what? Fuck it. Joe Flacco. Let's do something with that, right? Start cooking up with that. Back against the wall. You be like, God damn, Kevin out here cooking. All right, AB. This is the first time you've been pressed up against this wall. Give us another Jerry Jeudy trade. Okay.
Fuck that. I need to see what you could do in the draft, sir.
No, yeah, you're gonna have to make some trades. You're gonna have to make some good free agent signings. And you know what else you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to cook in that draft. And like the crazy thing is, you really look at that 2023 draft and you look at the undrafted free agents, he kind of cooked, but he didn't have any first round picks or second round picks in that draft. So, like, when you cook and you don't have first and second round picks, the players that are really good for the draft spot aren't going to be superstars. They're going to be really solid players. Like Mahamoud Diabate, right? Undrafted free agent. Ronnie Hickman out there holding it down at safety. Undrafted free agent. But you've not hit on your last 2 first round picks. You can maybe argue that you hit a single with Greg Newsome, right? Like, it's better than most, right? It's better than missing completely. Jed, it didn't feel like a miss 2 years ago, but it feels like a miss now.
Oh, it's 100% a miss. 100%.
It's a whiff, right?
It's a whiff. Especially when you could have took Tristan Wirfs like everybody wants.
This is what I'm saying. Don't get fucking cute in this first round. Unless somebody gives you the Godfather offer where you get a ridiculous amount of picks because they want to go ahead and draft fucking Shedeur Sanders. Good for you. You know, like, I don't advocate for that, but good. If somebody does it for Cam Ward, better.
Yeah, if the Giants call you like, hey, we're trying to go get Cam, go ahead. Take that.
I'm not a big believer in Shedeur Sanders, but like, I can see why people like him and see what the vision is. I just don't believe in it. I have no faith in Cam Ward. Like, I watch him and go, no. And maybe that's the Sean PTSD making me feel that way about him. Because all I see when I watch him is the same shit that Deshaun made me furious about. And maybe that's an unfair way to look at him, right? Like, maybe I'm the one being unfair here at the end of the day. But yeah, man, if somebody wants to trade up for a quarterback and we're in position to give them that trade, sure. As long as we stay in the top 10, I don't really care, right? I want to get a dude, though, right? I want to get somebody I can throw at that defensive line and say, stop us. I fucking dare you. Imagine Abdul Carter moving around with JOK.
People say he's too small for Jim Schwartz. He's too small for Jim Schwartz, Q.
Man, you fucking figure it out. we be having JOK be on the line of scrimmage.
And Ogbo.
Yeah, people said the same shit about Michael Parsons. He's too small for this and that, and you got to stand him up. Nah, man, Jim Schwartz is not a dumb man. He gonna see somebody who can hoop. He gonna put him on the floor. Okay, like,
listen, Mason Graham, Abdul Carter, Shamar Stewart. I am perfectly fine with all 3 of those outcomes.
Yeah, man,
perfectly fine. Won't complain.
Long and strong, get it done. Like, defensive line, yeah. That's
Andrew Berry been trying to draft defensive tackles since he got here. Mike Hall is the only good one he's gotten so far.
To be fair, only one he spun a day 2 pick on. Well, no, that's not true. Did he
No,
spend
that's
a
not true.
pick on Tommy Togiai? Oh no.
No,
Siaki
that's fourth
was
round.
Siaki was 3rd round pick.
Yeah, and I guess Jordan Elliott was too. He was a 3rd round pick.
Yeah. Also, keep Jim Schwartz the fuck away from the evaluation room. Okay.
Yeah, please.
He's a good coach. He don't know anything about evaluation. Keep that man away. Keep that man away.
Don't let nobody. Please don't let nobody make no picks. But listen, if you're gonna take a defensive tackle, if you're going to take a defensive tackle in this draft, and low key, it's a pretty good defensive tackle draft.
Hey,
might even be really good.
Hey man, get as many as you want.
First 2 rounds, figure it out. First 2 rounds. Historically speaking, best defensive tackles in the NFL are first round picks. There's some exceptions. Chris Jones, probably the biggest example. He was a 2nd round pick, but still first 2 rounds.
Just get a dude. Like the draft is really simple when you think about it. Just take somebody who's good at football. Not somebody who
Mason
you think,
Graham.
yeah, not somebody you think might be good at football. No. If you like his game, you like what that game can provide you, you think that dude has potential. That's why I like Aller. It's like, okay, yeah, Aller's got flaws, but like, man, I watch some plays and like, that could be a fucking guy. Okay. Like that is not an average play for a quarterback to make. Like he made one of these throws against Oregon. Somebody was draped all over him, threw over the middle of the field. And I got a heart attack thinking about the fucking ideal of Pittsburgh getting him. Like, I was like, good God, it's Big Ben. Like, my God.
And he a Browns fan too? Man.
And he be out of shape? Yeah, that's Big Ben. Like,
it might have been written. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I was watching all like, yeah, but I'm not letting Mike get him. Fuck that. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
also,
somebody tried to tell me this was
reach.
Charlie Fry. I'm like, brother, he playing at Penn State. Like, not accurate.
Please do not reach on an offensive player. Please don't do it. Please don't. Just take one of the defensive players that everybody knows is going to be good.
I mean, there are certainly offensive players that I think are dudes that you could take there.
Who? Janty, obviously.
Yeah, Janty. Some people are really high on Luther Burden. I haven't looked into it yet. But I'm not there with Ted. Like,
no, if they pass on Mason Graham to draft Ted, I'd be upset.
Yeah, I'm not there with Ted. But yeah, just get a dude. Just get a dude. Just do that. You do that, Andrew. Then all of a sudden we're gonna be like, yeah, he did draft Grant Delpit. Yeah, he did draft JOK. Yeah, he did draft this guy that I like.
Is JOK okay?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think this is more or less why play him. Also, the thing with like Nick Chubb's foot, it's a 4 to 6 week injury. He'll be back by February full speed. So, like, I know people are like, that's a career ender. That's a broken foot. He didn't even need surgery. He's fine. like, he just went on vacation early. So, also, like, I remember Denzel Ward started the season. He had a broken foot. They never told anybody about. I think a couple years ago, it was like an open secret. You remember that year?
I do remember that year.
Yeah, where he broke it in like OTAs. Like, it was just like they never put it on the injury report, but it was like this open secret between everybody who covers the Brown. Yeah, he broke his foot. Like, it's the weirdest shit, man. We need to get a new medical staff. I'm tired of this weird, goofy shit we be doing with all this stuff in our injury reports. We need to get a new medical staff. So put that on the wish list too. All right, what's next on the thing? Should we go heavy? Does position matter? Colb, you added that one. Brown's offseason strategy. I kind of hit on this. I think there are 4 things you could do. I touched on this in the video I did. But I think there are 4 things you could do that can make it easy to live with whatever quarterback that you have playing. You build an elite defense. You get a decent offensive line around that quarterback. Get a run game. Get some tight ends. The good news is, hey, this class got every single one of them things but quarterback. Okay? So go ahead and elevate the position. Like if you were the Browns, you are in a position to elevate some mid, right? Like Sam Darnold, if you don't get the money you think is owed to you in free agency, because I'm telling you right now, 40 something million dollars for Sam Darnold at the one good year, I don't think anybody is doing that. Nah,
Never say never.
I
Never say
don't
never.
think. And I would be. They gave Daniel Jones 46 million, so maybe somebody does it, right, Cole? But I just can't imagine somebody doing that, man. Like, that's a bridge too far for me. like if they do that and it does not work out, that would mean that somehow from me in this chair, I'm smarter than somebody who gets paid to do this for a living. That can't happen, right? Like I cannot be no, Sam Darnold, $40 million. Does that sound like a good idea for Sam Darnold? Especially like when he's doing this, when he has an elite defense behind him and the best wide receiver in football to throw to. And then also, like, don't sleep on the other dude. They got Addison.
Yeah, it sounds like you setting yourself up to be disappointed.
It sounds like Jeff Garcia to me.
Yeah.
Hey, look, and Jeff Garcia is fine when you sign him to be fucking Jeff Garcia, but you sign that man for $46 million. It's not franchise quarterback money. But it's not franchise quarterback money. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, yeah, you're not paying him Joe Burrow money, but you certainly are paying him Kyler Murray money.
Would you give him Baker money?
Not if I'm not the team he had that year with, man. Like, if he were on the Browns this year and he's doing what he's doing, I'd give him Baker Mayfield money to stay the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. But if I'm picking him up from free agency and I can't replicate that same exact situation he had that success with because I don't have Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison, I feel like you might be paying a little bit of a premium for some shit that you ain't about to get. Like, this dude get like just a couple years ago, and this is amazing for Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, but like 2 years ago, these dudes got benched for PJ Walker. Okay. Like,
do you know what his current market, his calculated market value is?
You talking about Pro Football Focus?
No, I'm talking about on Sport Track.
I've heard $40-something million for him a year.
So, calculated market value, 35.9 average annual salary, 35.9 million.
Yeah,
about 36 a year, somewhere.
My cap for him is 18. Okay, like,
ooh, that's not gonna get it done.
Yeah. Well, I think it initially it's not, but I just don't think anybody is gonna like really give him the fucking Godfather offer. Like, the only team I see doing that is Minnesota, and if Minnesota doesn't do it, why would anybody else do it?
Funny enough, him getting like 36 million a year would only make him the 17th highest paid quarterback in the league.
What, 17 million a year?
No, him making $36 million a year would make him the 17th highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, Corey has made a very convincing argument. I talked to him earlier today for a video I'm going to release later tonight. He makes a very convincing argument that's not actually that much money for quarterback. And I get what he's saying. I'm paying Sam Darnold $18 million. Okay. like it makes sense. I get it. It is. You look at the market. He's Sam Darnold. He gets $18 million from me. Like, no more. I refuse to pay that much of a premium just because he had a good year. He's Sam Darnold. 18 is double what I would pay him. But I understand that there's inflation in the market. He's a $10 million quarterback. In my mind.
He's not a $10 million quarterback after the season he just had.
Well, no.
Gotta
He's
get
not a
rid of him.
dude you can sign for $10 million. What I'm saying is he's always going to feel like he's worth about $10 million. Don't Tobias Harris yourself. like this got Tobias Harris written all over it. Where it's like, oh yeah, you get how much did Tobias get? Like 40?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me see. Let me look that up. I ain't trying to pocket watch, but that's.
I remember being like, yo, Tobias Harris is making way too much money to play basketball when I saw that deal.
Tobias Harris. Let me see. Career earnings. Man, he came up. You hear me?
He was undrafted too.
Nah, he was drafted.
He was drafted. He was like second round. I always think of a second round pick as like undrafted.
No, he was the first round pick.
Really?
Yeah. You remember Tobias when he was big?
Was it 2011 he was drafted, dog? I was not, the Cavs were so ass in 2011. I think I only cared about Kyrie.
No, let me see. He was the 19th overall pick.
That's not a high pick in the NBA. It's not even lottery, is it?
It's right out. It's outside the lottery, but it's still a first round pick.
All right. Tobias Harris is making what, 25 million right now. Career earnings.
He made 39 last year.
39, 37, 35, 34, right? And what Tobias Harris always offered you was the amount of production you should probably get for $15 million.
Man, where's that budget tweet? My dog budget. He had that tweet that said, if you need 17 to 18 points a game, Tobias Harris go get you 17 to 18 points a game.
If you need 35,
if you need 23 points a game, Tobias Harris is going to get you 17 to 18 points.
Jalen Rose had a funny point about this early on with JaVale McGee. Like while JaVale was still on the Wizards, he made a great point about this on Jalen and Jacoby way back in the day, where he was like, JaVale McGee, if you give him 20 minutes of production, he's going to give you 20 solid minutes of production. But if you say to yourself, hey, JaVale, give me 40 minutes of production, you know what JaVale going to give you? 20 solid minutes of production. I call it the JaVale McGee rule, right? Hey, that dude's gonna give you what he's gonna give you, but don't expect just because you pay him more. Karis LeVert, great example of that, right? Like just he gonna give you what he gives you, right? And that is a player that you should not pay more than what the value is for that player. And that's what I see Sam Darnold. Yeah, man, you can convince yourself at the season he's had that that's a dude worth about 35, 40 million, but that's a $10 million quarterback. And I'm willing to pay a premium for it. So I'll go up to $18 million for him. But I'm going to just tell you this. Next year, it's going to be another motherfucker like Sam Darnold available. like, you do not have to spend $40 million. Okay? You don't. It's always somebody. There was a dude like Sam Darnold when Sam Darnold was available. Like there's always a dude who could be the next Sam Darnold because what he is not special. He's just benefiting from a really good situation. It's only because he was drafted super high that people are like willing to do this because they're like, oh, well, maybe he figured it out. And shout out to Geno Smith. He gonna get this motherfucker paid because that's the main reason people are like, oh, well, this might be a Geno. Shout out to Geno, man. And by the way,
nothing wrong with it.
I hope the Steelers pay Russ. Did you see that game against Philadelphia?
I didn't even watch it.
Oh, I hope they pay Russ a ton of money. I hope Russ hold him hostage. Because let me tell you something, brother. That shit ain't lasted more than 1 year.
Did George Pickens play?
No.
Oh, yeah.
They had like 60 yards of offense to start that game. They made a little bit of a run, right? They started running the ball a little bit, but then they rushed out. Okay, they fumbled, they jumbled, and they didn't look very impressive at all. Which I think is the main thing with Pittsburgh, which is they're being carried by a wide receiver. Hey, news alert! Don't 40 for Sam, man. Like maybe you could pull my arm and twist it and just fine $30 million, like Corey talking about. Because I get the point he's making there. I think it's a good point. I just think that man a $10 million quarterback. Like at the end of the day, he will get you 20 touchdowns and like 13 interceptions. Like on average. It's $10 million worth of quarterback.
Has he thrown how many? Now I got to look at his stats and see how many.
He's like 28 and 17 or 28 and 13 right now, I think.
Let me see. Stats this year. He's at 29 and 11.
Yeah. He's having an outlier year for sure. But I'm asking the question, why is he having that outlier year?
I'm looking at his stats from like since he was rookie. Okay, so rookie year, 17 touchdowns, 15 picks. 19 touchdowns, 13 picks.
Okay.
9 touchdowns, 11 in 2020. What happened in 2020? Hey.
That's when he started seeing ghost.
Oh yeah. And then Panthers year,
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Panthers years were bad. 9 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Panthers second year, 7 touchdowns, 3. He didn't really play in the 49ers. And then the Vikings, he's at career highs in everything that matters.
Yeah. I have what I'm willing to pay, and I don't think I'm willing to budge. like, I don't know. Man, 30, that's 40 is a crazy sell for me. I don't know. And like I know people keep saying QB tax, but like, is there really that much of a demand for quarterback right now?
If you're the Cleveland Browns, kind of.
If I'm the Browns, I'm like, I got Myles Garrett. We're just going to get this defense really good. And then just like, fuck it. We'll win games with somebody. That's a better bet than like, if I'm the Browns, I'm like, let's get the defense really good. Let's get fucking shitty Kirk Cousins and see if we could just maneuver that thing up and make it work for a year or two. Because I'm trying to get to 2027.
In my head, I'm just like, can Jackson Dart beat Kirk Cousins? Can he be our Kirk Cousins?
Maybe if you drafted where Kirk Cousins got drafted, I have no problem. Right? Round 3, round 4, right? Like, yeah, okay, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, Jackson Dart, cool. Don't care. Like, let's see it. It'll make preseason fun. Like, you know?
Oh, man.
He'll throw one complete pass in fucking preseason and people will be like, he needs to start.
I'm going to say that. If they draft it, I'm going to be the first person to say it too.
That'd be hilarious. If they like the thing that got me about the whole Deshaun Watson's about to compete thing, the best case scenario I've heard from him coming back from that injury, and this is an aggressively best case scenario, is that like he's ready to be active. Well, he's ready to be limited by the start of camp. And people are like, yeah, he's gonna have a competition. I'm like, how the fuck you gonna have a competition? He's not even practicing with the team. He doing individual drills. But he about to compete. Like, he's obviously not going to start the year, even in his best case scenario. Like, so much of those reports are just bullshit. Curtis, real quick, I want to get you on record here. What you feel about Sam Darnold, man? Are you willing to spend the premium for Sam? Are you convinced that he has changed and turned a new leaf?
I can tell Curtis about the hate.
I'm not spending the premium on Sam Darnold. I will not do that. He's been hooping, no doubt. He was okay yesterday, but spending a premium on Darnold, I don't know. It might be risky.
Hey, man, we trying to live that dream. You live it. Would you have? Okay, let's put the scenario out there, right? Let's say for whatever reason the Seahawks had a quarterback that they drafted. They didn't want to go with Geno Smith after he had his breakout year, and he hits free agency. How much you spending on that? How much would you be comfortable spending on that to bring him in, knowing what you know at the time, not what you know now?
That's a tough question. It really is, to a degree. It makes you think about it for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, if Cleveland chose to spend a premium on Darnold, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Darnold would fit in the Stefanski pantry pretty well. But the question is, is it really worth breaking the bank for someone that's like a 1-year rental or 2-year rental? Because, this year that he's having, maybe it's an outlier and maybe it's not, but there are moments when he had a rough stretch and he was like, I kind of worry about that a little bit. But at the same time, if you're Cleveland, you might as well just kick the tires. If you can get him at a price that's affordable, have no problem with it. But if you have to overspend to get him, I would just steer clear from him. That's what I would do.
All right. Thank you for that, Curtis. I don't know, man. My gut can't tell me, hey, man, $40 million for Sam Darnold. Let's do it. Now, you know what? One decision I was talking about this with Corey. I'm like, if it does happen, hey, man, everybody about to get fired. Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers is in brown and orange, oh, buddy, it's dicey in Berea because either Kevin is desperate or Kevin ain't make that decision.
A quarterback room of Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson,
and fuck it, let's just bring back Jameis at that point.
just hard knocks gold.
Worst blunt rotation of all time, bro.
just hard knocks, just legendary hard knock season in those three.
Dog, Kevin might quit on the spot.
I wouldn't blame him.
He's gonna be the first coach to request the trade.
Just walk straight to Jimmy's office and be like, fuck.
I'm not going to Greenbrier with that motherfucker. Okay. By the way, I wonder if they booked out Greenbrier for this offseason.
No Greenbrier trip. Y'all don't deserve it. No Greenbrier.
No. You remember who insisted they go to Greenbrier?
Definitely no Greenbrier trip this year.
It's hilarious too because he insisted this Greenbrier thing. I don't think he's participated in a single Greenbrier practice.
This team, man.
They got to dig themselves out of it. Browns got to save themselves, man. You're not going to draft somebody who's going to save all your problems. You're not going to sign Sam Darnold who's going to fix all your problems. Browns got to save themselves this offseason. Man. Speaking of teams that got to save themselves, Ohio State still behind their mans. It said, we are not firing Ryan Day. How you feel about that, Cole? Have you made your peace with it?
Made my peace with what?
With Ryan Day being the future coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
I ain't made my peace with shit. Fuck him and fuck Ohio State for bringing it back.
that Ryan Day extension.
Listen, man.
Not excited about it?
Absolutely not. Who cares about? You can't possibly care about Ohio State and be excited. Yeah.
Hey man, he's giving you chances. You know, he's only a field goal away from going to the national championship game, Cole. You know, he's just had bad luck. See, Cole, that's the problem, Ryan Day. Ryan Day just needs to get a season where it just goes his way.
Man, you see them trying to downplay the game now too.
It's so sad.
It doesn't matter. Shameful. It's not that important.
So shameful.
It's disgusting.
What Ohio State has been reduced to.
Like, this was a once proud college football program, and now we got to try to pretend like the game doesn't matter because you can't win.
Now y'all trying to shrug off 2 losses to Sharon Moore?
Fuck out of here, dude.
Bruh, Sharon Moore left tears on your football field, and you gonna let that stand? You gonna let that slide? Michigan got the audacity to plant a fucking flag at your midfield because you that bad. And you just like, yeah, man, well, it's not that important. Yeah, somebody just introduced legislation to try to get somebody arrested for doing what Michigan did to you, but it's not that fucking important, right? By the way,
the worst era of Ohio State football of my lifetime, quite possibly ever. This is as low as it gets.
This is everything that people feared about. Like, remember way back in the day when they hired Urban Meyer and people were like, this is going to destroy the culture at Ohio State. And we're not going to care about the things that we should care about. And that didn't happen under Urban Meyer. But the second he passed it to his homeboy, good God, what has happened to the culture of this team? What has happened to the fan base that I used to fuck with, right? Because y'all out here like, oh my God, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have a big game problem. He just has a Michigan problem.
Nah, I'm not saying that. He fucking sucks. That's what the problem is. It's the worst coach Ohio State's had since I've been alive. I need him gone. I need him gone.
The only way that I see him being gone is if they ask him to step down, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. I mean,
that's your man.
That I feel like when it comes to Ryan Day, I'm like over him to the point where, hey man, if he gets fired, then so be it. But at the same time, I'm like, he could just resign and then everybody just forgets about him, because I feel like at some point, like, Ohio State's issue is that they have an identity crisis within the football program, and I feel like this all stems from that 2021 game in which Harbaugh said, "Oh, this man was born on second base," and everybody starts saying that the program is soft and all that.
Born on third base.
And if all Ryan Day did was just ignore it and just stick to what he's doing now, he wouldn't be in the predicament that he's in now. Because I feel like that's his issue. He doesn't need to prove I've said it before. He doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. Just do what makes you got that job in the first place. But him trying to make this program about toughness and all the other stuff, I'm like, man, it's not your thing. Like, get out of it. That's the only way that I think they'll get over it, if he just embraces what got him the job in the first place instead of trying to pretend to be something he's not.
So you telling me khaki pants Harbaugh, go to Ryan Day, it's a proof of the fact that he's not a nepotism hire and that he actually has coaching chops. And ever since then, Ryan Day's been trying to prove that he's a good coach, and it's gotten worse. Like, is he the coach you got to keep off the headset? Because, like, to an extent, Urban Meyer was the coach you got to keep off the headset at times. It might just be that, right? Like, it might be, maybe it was like he was more comfortable leaving things to his assistants, and then Khaki Pants said that thing, it got in his head, and now he's like, no, I got to control it now, right? Like, now he's got to be the guy. He's got to prove it to everybody. Because that's the one thing I think Urban Meyer did do that was exceptional, which is he really didn't have that much ego about being considered a football genius. Like, you can't have ego about being a football genius if you take a job in the NFL and you ask who the fuck Aaron Donald is, right? Like, that man had considerably less ego about all of that. And that meant that he was willing to trust his assistants to do the jobs that they could do. Luke Fickell did an excellent job with that defense, that championship team. He trusted Luke on a number of players on that team, and they were able to do what they did that year. Ryan Day does not seem to have that confidence in himself to be willing to take a comment like that and not feel like he got something to prove. You say that shit to Urban Meyer, he don't give a fuck. Well, you don't think I coach? Okay. Urban Meyer still be out there, everything out about him, talking about coaching jobs on Fox, right? Like, he don't care. But Ryan Day, he get tight about that, right? Oh, yeah, let me go talk to Lou Holtz. Remember that? Like, this dude's got thin skin. He's not confident in his ability. He tries to overcompensate. This ain't the guy. I don't think this is the guy. This isn't the guy you win something with. Like, maybe because you're super talented and it's not a great year in college football, maybe you sneak through. But like, the second he has to actually do his job, man, it's going to be something where it's going to be exposed. This ain't the guy.
The worst case scenario for Ohio State going forward is if they actually win the national championship this year. Because if they win the national championship this year, there's no way you're going to be able to fire him.
That's not the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is you get to like the semifinal and you lose by a field goal.
No, because then if they do that, I feel like, you know what? Still a decent chance he's out of here. Yeah. I don't care what they say.
I think if he wins 2 playoff games, they're not doing shit. And if they get a good enough run where they could be like, hey, the ball literally didn't bounce our way. We're one this or that away from being a national champion. They're going to feel very comfortable keeping Ryan Day. Like, I don't think the seat's that hot for him. I just don't understand how that is not the case.
It should be.
It should be. It's Ohio State. You can't beat Michigan, but they're fully bought into the idea that does not matter anymore, that it's all about winning a national championship, and that they feel Ryan Day gives them the best chance to win a national championship. And until that bubble is bursted spectacularly, that is always going to be what they use to hold on to Ryan Day. Like, he has to like crash out phenomenally in the first round or something like that, or like lose to fucking Boise, like, in order for them to be like, nah, it's over with, right? Like, that's what it's gonna take. But if he like drops a game to Oregon, they're not gonna be swayed on that. They know Oregon's better than them this year.
Hurts my heart, man.
Let alone if he beats Oregon and then like loses to somebody else.
I can see that happening too.
Oh yeah, they're gonna stick with it.
But I can see that.
Talk about how Will Howard's really not that good, and then you just get the right quarterback in the portal. They're gonna talk themselves into it. But this dude ain't the guy.
He's not.
And like, the thing about Ryan Day, he is the first Ohio State coach in my lifetime I can find nothing spectacular that he does individually.
No, nothing.
I'm like,
Not
okay, what got him the job? It's like, oh, he was the offensive coordinator. I'm like, yeah, of an Urban Meyer offense, so maybe. But like, this dude was not an extraordinary coach before he got the job at Ohio State. And even at Ohio State, we weren't talking about Ryan Day. We were talking about fucking Brian Hartline,
who was interviewing for the West Virginia job, by the way.
Mm-hmm. He didn't get it.
He did not.
We almost lost one of Tommy Reese to North Carolina.
Hey, listen, they can still come get him.
What's wrong with what Tommy Reese been doing?
Hey, listen, when the Cleveland Browns have won 3 games all year, I'm not particularly attached to any of the coaches on the coaching staff.
Sure, but like, just come get Tommy Reese like he the problem.
Come take him.
He could be part of the solution. We don't know. Well, yeah, man. Ohio State can't fathom why they don't care about losing to Michigan. Well, I can. I just think it's lame. And maybe that's just where college football is going.
You know what Ryan Day has done? It's gotten to the point where I don't even want the Browns to draft Ohio State football players anymore.
Well, I mean, Mike Hall's good. Well, no, I would have stayed with him. He's good at talent evaluation. The talent.
No, Mike Hall was hooping last Sunday. I was
No, I would draft Ohio. Hey, the problem at Ohio State is not that you don't get good players.
I'm just like
the problem at Ohio State is like, hey, bro, you got Ryan Day and Chip Kelly out here cooking shit in 2025.
I'm just sitting here like I'm looking at some of these draft prospects. I'm just like, people are like, oh, Tyreek Williams is going to be pretty good, and I was like, yeah,
Tyreek's good.
I'd rather have Mason Graham.
Of course.
I'd probably rather have Kenneth Grant too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would have compared him. I don't know about Kenneth Grant. Like, I gotta see him because he does benefit a lot from being next to Mason Graham. But now Tyreek's good. Tyreek's a good player.
He's good.
Yeah, I would get off of him because of that. I wouldn't take any of Ohio State's like corners. Like obviously Downs is somebody you would want to take because he's really, really good.
Okay, Caleb, please don't leave. Please don't leave, Caleb.
I'm gonna need him to hit that portal.
please don't hit that portal, Caleb.
I'm gonna need him to hit that portal.
I won't blame you, but please don't do it.
I'm gonna need him to hit that portal. Right. Like, I don't hate the other safety Ohio State has either. It's like a day 3 guy though. But
it's
Ransom.
Yeah, Lathan Ransom. Good run defender.
The running backs are cool.
I can't get there with Junkins.
I kind of like Henderson more.
Yeah. And then, like, somebody correct me. Was Penn State's running back, was Nick Singleton hurt in that first Ohio State game?
I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
Because I saw him run in that Ohio State tape while I was watching Drew Aller. And I was like, this dude is like a top whatever running back. And then I saw him in that Oregon game. I'm like, oh, good God, who the fuck is this? Had to check, make sure it's the same dude. Also, Oregon's running back 20. That man, nice. Okay, he not coming
Jordan
out.
James,
He's a sophomore. Yeah,
Jordan James. Yeah,
nice.
yeah, Jordan James.
I was watching him like, ooh, that motherfucker's good. What year is he?
Jordan James is nice.
Like he do
Is
all
he
the
true? Is he a true sophomore? Or is he a redshirt sophomore?
Jordan James. Hold on, I'm looking him up right now.
Yeah, I was watching him.
He's a
like,
true junior. He's a true junior.
True junior. So
he can come out. He can come out.
Why would he? This is not the class to be another really good running back in. Like, but
hey, man,
if they win the national championship, he might. Yeah, man, he can't hoop. Like he got that your favorite running back game where he just be cutting. Like he just be cutting and cutting. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's good, bro.
Yeah, I was like, if the Browns took Jordan James, would not be upset. Wouldn't be upset at all.
Yeah, he got that classic build too, 5'10", 200. Yeah, that man solid. Good instincts, great vision, right? All the shit that Jerome Ford don't do that pisses people off because Jerome Ford don't have that like your favorite running back ability, just scat, cut. Nah, Jordan James does all that shit. Like he be out there just rapping. Okay.
Hey, you know who I started watching? You know who Stephen started watching?
Who?
There's just highlights and stuff. Scatterboo.
Okay, I'm Scatterboo. I gotta watch
it,
man.
I've been watching some highlights. I'm like,
dog. It's so chaotic.
I'm like, is this Peyton Hillis?
It feels chaotic like that though, because like dudes are just slipping off of him like butter, and you're like, that can't happen in the NFL, right?
I kind of want to see if it can though.
Let me tell you, there's gonna be nobody you would love to watch more in the fucking preseason than Scatterboo, because he's also run really hard on special teams guy, right? Like,
let me see. Cameron Scatterboo.
Because like I've seen him be projected to be like the 200 overall player.
Same.
Now that's gonna change if he runs a decent 40 or something like that.
Yeah, you can barely look up his stats. Hey, he be doing work as a receiver too, though, low key.
Nah, he's a good all-around back in college. He's like one good game versus an SEC team away from people taking him seriously.
Dead ass.
Yeah. Who did Penn State play in the playoffs? Let me look at the bracket again. Let me tell you, I know Aller said he not coming out right now, but it depends on how that bracket lays. Okay, so he is SMU, Penn State, then Boise. Then he could get to a semifinal game versus like Georgia. Hey, bro, he put it on Georgia. It gets to the championship game. Probably gonna declare.
At that point, you got to do it. Like you got to do it.
Because, like, beating SMU not gonna get you there. Beating Boise most certainly not gonna get you there. But you put one on Georgia. And then you have a nice national championship game versus like whoever's there, Ohio State, Oregon, Tennessee. Yeah, people gonna start taking that serious.
Amen.
Dude like that, he's gonna run a good 40 times because he's not coordinated. He's not gonna do any of the left and right drills well. He stinks moving left to right at times, right? Like he's not a really coordinated athlete. He's still like very gangly, but he can run in a straight line pretty fast. So he's gonna run a decent 40 too. Yeah, he'll declare. He'll declare the Browns will have a decision to make at 8. Okay. Like, ooh, that becomes difficult then at that point where I'm like, ooh, shit. Like, fuck.
Can't wait to have that.
That is earlier than I would want to take him. Like,
can't wait to have that argument with people.
Oh, yeah. That would get very interesting here, right? Because, like, I like him. But dude, man, he's got to put together more tape for me to be like top 10 pick. Oh God, like I'm shaky on Shador. like,
ooh.
It's gonna be tough for me.
Base now. I can hear the fan base now. Whew. If they pass on him,
hey, the only man you can pass. Hey, Colb, the only man you can pass on him to get is Mason Graham.
Oh, people would hate that too. People would be furious if they did that.
Not as much as they would be furious if you took like the dude from Texas A&M, Shamar. Like people wouldn't see the vision there. People will see the vision in Mason Graham.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
No, yes, they won't. Just because of where he went to school, people will pretend like they don't see it.
No, because where he went to school, they know. Okay. Who knows more than Ohio State fans how good? Look, who's the number one advocate in this room right now for Mason Graham? And who's also the biggest Ohio State fan in this room? Yeah, because you fucking know why he's special. You don't need no breakdown. You don't need no all 22. You watch 2 games Ohio State trying to beat Michigan. Okay? You know what it is. 3 times. 3 times. Yeah. They're not going to have to explain that one to people of Ohio if you take Mason Graham. You take some dude from the SEC though, they not gonna like that at all. Okay, and you pass on Drew, and like the Steelers sneak into it. Yeah, man.
I can just see it now. If he actually declared and he was there at 8, I just be like, oh, they're definitely gonna take him.
I'd be like, ooh, that's gonna be tough. Because if he plays well enough,
he gonna come with the brown shirt and everything too, or like a brown suit or something.
No, like they go cut to the draft, right? Like you gonna see him copping up on the board, and it's like, oh, everybody's gonna think he's gonna go one place. Like New York's gonna take him, New York don't take him, right? And all of a sudden, you see on the thing, draft party of Drew Aller, and then you see like 5 people in Browns gear at that party, and they're gonna be like, oh, Rich Eisen gonna get his shit. Rich Eisen and Trey Wingo gonna collab to get that story in. Well, you know, he grew up just 30 miles outside the city center of Cleveland Browns. Here's him in a Cleveland Browns uniform. What would be a more romantic story than somebody saving the Cleveland Browns from this mess who's also a Browns fan? You already know. It's going to be crazy. Thing is, he's much better than Brady Quinn, in my opinion. Like, this is not Brady Quinn. Okay? Who probably should have won in the 3rd round in 2007. This is much different. Like, this dude does have legitimate perks as a prospect. But 8th overall pick perks? Ooh. Now I'm starting to feel real Blake Bortles about it, right? Like, ooh, that's tough because now you're not going to have that crazy defense to hide him behind, right? You take him in the 2nd round, you can take a dude in the 1st, get him in the 2nd, you still got that defense, right? That you're going to be lights out, right? So it's going to be a lot of room for error. But you take him in the 1st, bro, like, it might not be that way. Like,
you got to be committed. Like, you got to be committed too. Like,
yeah, bro, he's super young.
He probably going to need a year where he's not playing for real.
Honestly, now that he's not going to go unless he has a crazy run, you're probably better off if you're the Browns. It's like, hey, man, let's see what he does in 2026. Like,
yeah, because you can use this draft to try to just, get more talent on the roster.
Get the nest, right? Fine. You want the egg to hatch, build the nest. That's what I'm focused on. Because right now we don't have a nest to hatch an egg in. And the crazy part is we had one, but we wasted that shit on Deshaun Watson. Like a literal rotten egg. It's crazy.
Curtis, what's the Ain't No Way All Stars, man? What's the Ain't No Way All Stars, man?
We only got one this week.
All right.
And it's probably the first and only one that I have really shake my head at. Devondre Campbell. Ain't no way that this man quit on his team in the third quarter because when I first heard about it, I'm like, ain't no way that he just do that. And I found out he did. I'm like, oh yeah, he's done. He's cut. Like, there is no way.
You know the funniest part? His teammates, they try to defend him and all. They was like, oh no, he's getting cut for sure.
Bro, you know what that man has been doing behind the scenes for them to be like, man, because even when Antonio Brown did that, dog, people was like, I don't know what's going on with Antonio Brown. We hope he could be better and all this stuff. When Vontae Davis left the fucking game, RIP, and decided to post a retirement Instagram picture at the start of the fucking third quarter, okay, there were still people like, yeah, well, you know, Vontae made the decision that Vontae did. Nah, man, first thing out of motherfucker's mouth was, I hope he gone.
Yeah, he probably just ruined his time here, so he's not gonna be here anymore. I was like, damn.
And that is the most happy to see that motherfucker go. Probably owes somebody. That is the tone of voice you take when somebody owes you $20 and it has become clear they're not gonna pay you back. Like that is
you know what the funniest part was? He got a tweet for I think a couple years ago where he said straight up, like, hey, I ain't playing through injuries no more. Coaches you be hurt, and coaches be trying to make you go out there and still do stuff, knowing that you injured. Or I ain't doing none of that no more. Next time I'm just gonna say no. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, damn, he's still all business.
hey, somebody go check that tweet and see if Jet Wills liked it.
You can't look at likes no more.
Can't look at likes.
Hey, bro, because I know Jed was like, facts. Okay. Facts, bro. 100 emoji from the burner account. Reply on that tweet. Did he go to Alabama or something like that?
No, he went to Minnesota.
Oh, he went to Minnesota? Hey, man, quit his job in the middle of his shift. That's the craziest thing about that whole thing. Quit his good job in the middle of his shift.
You gotta specify. You gotta specify. Good job. Great job.
Yeah, great job. He played for the 49ers. Last time we saw it was because somebody played on a pre-Josh Allen Bills. Okay, yeah, that's a job you might quit in the middle of your shift. Antonio Brown did this, but he's Antonio Brown. We don't expect logical thought processes out of that man. We highly suspect that dude is walking around with a criminally injured brain. I don't know what other way to put it, right? Like, we commonly speculate on that with Antonio Brown. This is a regular man, and he out here quitting his good-ass job with the 49ers. For what?
Listen, he said, I'm cool. Do you hear me? I'm good. I'm all right.
Nah. Hey, shout out to Jadeveon Clowney, another man whose burner definitely liked that post. Okay. Facts. I bet he was on a group call with Jadeveon and Jan Wills and then just decided to tweet that one out. You know how you be all like, yeah, when you had that good conversation, you make that point on Twitter after you had that conversation? That's what that was. The all-time dude you don't want on your team if you're not going to win a bunch of games. Like,
man, he was out. I'm sorry. That shit is hilarious. That shit is funny.
He was out there, bro. Like, for real. Remember when we thought Kadarius Toney didn't give a fuck?
I mean, I think that's fair to say he don't.
Like somebody has taken Kadarius Toney's place on the don't give a fuck all-stars list. Because at least Kadarius was mad after he fumbled that punt. Right?
Yeah, he was upset. You know what I'm saying? He was upset. Actually,
he looked like he realized he was running out of chances. Right, like that's what he looked like. He understood the situation. My man was he been in the league since 2016, right, Curtis? Like, he's not a rookie.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a little bit. Hold on, I'll look him up right now.
Yeah, I believe he's been in the league since 2016. He got a fucking pension from the NFLPA.
Yeah, he was drafted by the Falcons. Then he spent a year with the Cardinals. Then he spent a year with the Packers. He was with the Packers for 2 years. And this past free agency and offseason, he saw with the 49ers. And when I watched him play with the 49ers, he was he was struggling. And then when Dre Greenlaw came back, the defense was better. So apparently, he was kind of pissed that he wasn't getting any playing time. Like, brother, Dre Greenlaw is better than you. So I don't know why he was mad about that. So, yeah, there was ain't no way that man really just left in the middle of a game like that. That's crazy.
Hey, Curtis, you're relying on this man being reasonable. Remember, Jadeveon Clowney refused to go into a game because we kept telling him that Miles is better than him. Myles Garrett.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Jadeveon Clowney was out here popping the attitude because we was calling him Robin to Myles Garrett.
And then Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year immediately afterward.
Yes, that dude. That guy.
Oh, Jadeveon, man. Shout out to Jadeveon. That's hilarious.
Like you was really getting the attitude about really being upset. Numbered. He was like, who number 2? It's you. The other guy is fucking Myles Garrett. Like, we wasn't out here putting him number 2 to Trey Hendrickson. Like, who would also be a clear one over Jadeveon. Let me make that point clear, right? It wasn't somebody who was one of the better edge rushers in the league. We said you not better than the best edge rusher in the league. Like, ain't no shame in that. He like, no, we equals. No, you not. That guy is clearly better than you. Okay. Miles got Miles been in the league, what, 8 years?
Yeah.
He got 6 seasons better than Jadeveon Clowney has ever had. In one of them seasons, he smacked somebody in the head with the helmet in week 11. Okay. That's who Jadeveon was getting an attitude about. The dudes who get mad about this shit, bro. Like, I bet if you ask Jed Wills, he think he Trent Williams when he healthy. Nah, get that loser off my team, dog. That is peak. Oh, this motherfucker's a loser. Like, you ever just have a conversation with somebody and you leave it with that distinct interaction where you're like, oh, that guy's a fucking loser. Like, I bet a lot of that was going around with him because this is some loser shit right here. Like,
just walked off and quit. That's crazy.
Walked off and quit. Team is 5-6. He just walked off and quit. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Shout out to Kyle Shanahan. Was like, I've never seen anything like that before. Never witnessed it.
Got people quitting on you, Kyle. They quitting on you.
I know, right? Lost the locker room, bro. Can you imagine that shit happened in Cleveland? All the fucking think pieces that we be right. We want these dumbass think pieces when it was fucking Jadeveon Clowney popping the attitude. I'm like, bro, it's Jadeveon Clowney. He's never happy at work. Jadeveon Clowney is always like 2 bad days away from quitting his job. Or at least he make it seem like it.
Oh,
that shit brought me back. I remember I was pissed off all 2020 offseason. Oh no, was that 2021 offseason?
I think it was 2021.
Yeah, we were like, oh, the Browns have a wider culture problem because Jadeveon Clowney did not want to come back into a game. I'm like, because Jadeveon Clowney's a fucking asshole. Like, we know this is the case. Like, why are we acting like, oh no, he's supposed to not be an asshole because he plays for the Cleveland Browns and we're supposed to have a culture here? He left and the vibes got so much better. Like, we replaced him with Za'Darius, who didn't even get that many sacks, but you know what? The vibes were much more pleasant.
The vibes were immaculate.
Yeah. And look, Za'Darius the left, vibes still good on that defensive line room, right? Young Mike Hall walking in there cooking. He put Trey Smith in hell a couple times. Where I'm like, hey. And like he's not abysmal as a run defender, so I'm like, I thought he was gonna be ass at that.
I think one play, Mike Hall, I think it was a pass for a set, and he pushed Trey Smith all the way back. I was like, oh, I didn't see that shit. I'm like,
And he just got back off IR. Mm-hmm. That's just natural power.
Listen, this is what I'm telling y'all, man.
Hey,
I'm telling y'all, Mike Hall, Mason Graham, Myles Garrett, you got something there.
Yeah, Mike.
You got something there.
Take care of business, bro. Take care of business. Do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Because you need to play. Okay. You are going to be a very rich man if you live up to your potential, Mr. Hall. Okay. And he's what, 21 and a half?
Yes, he's young. So. He's young. Man, get him and Mason together. Get him and Mason together. By the time
he's ready for his next contract, he's going to be what, 23?
24.
No, 23. He's 21 right now. This is the end of his first year. He got 3 more years.
Oh, yeah, he's a second round pick. He's a second round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Son.
Him and Mason.
Hey.
Him and Mason. Keep it together for 10 years. Him and Mason.
And we acted like Miles ain't a part of this too. That's the thing. Yeah, him and Mason, that'd be a really good defensive line to begin with. Oh, yeah, by the way, let's add the best defensive player in football. Who you doubling? You just gonna give Mike Hall two-way goals all game.
Listen,
brother, me and Curtis could be out there rushing the edge on the other side. We might get 6 sacks. Okay.
Hey, listen, don't let Isaiah McGuire and Alex Wright be good too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of cleanup. Look, you don't even need somebody good that can penetrate on that side. You just need somebody fast who can Okoronkwo. Just get that mop, buddy. Just stand there, wait for some shit to break down, clean it up. Right? Like,
also, the Browns kind of need long-term solutions at defensive tackle anyway, because Dalvin's not going to be here that much longer.
Yeah.
So they make the grad pick makes like a ton of sense to me.
No, it would be a good pick. If you could get
it. It makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah. And look, Mason Graham, I get the feeling nobody thinks he's going to quit in the middle of his shift.
He's about to whoop ass.
It's about to be crazy because we're about to hear this insanely talented, athletic dude get talked about like he's just a hustle guy. On draft season. They still be doing that with TJ. Like, oh, what the hustle with TJ? The motor.
Oh man, I was watching just like somebody do a breakdown on Mason Graham, and I was just like, holy shit, they need to draft this.
Quick hands, quick strong hands too. Hey, first play versus Ohio State, he set the tone. First play versus Ohio State, all you see is just whoever was the fuck in front of him push back. They played this man an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Wide edge. Yeah, man. I'm with
put him next to Miles. Please put him next to Miles.
Bro, or they could do the thing. You've seen the Browns are doing this now where they just basically put 3 people on one side and then just have Miles in the entire right side of the offensive line or left side of the offensive line to himself so they can overload. Dog, it's gonna be so much trouble. You get him. So much trouble. Like, yeah, that's the dude. That is the dude right there.
Oh my god.
That Texas tape.
That's the craziest thing, bro. He be eating NFL players up, like future NFL players up alive, dog. He be killing them, bro. He be smacking the shit out of offensive guards.
No, them hands are strong.
Man, he be hitting the shit out of these dudes. I'm like, yeah, man, you gotta go get that. Oh, hey, man.
By the way, we got an honorary, delayed shout out 808 All-Star. Cooper DeJohn. Ain't no way he did that to Derrick Henry.
What?
You ain't see Cooper DeJohn body slam Derrick Henry?
Oh, I'm about to say that tackle. You talking about that tackle?
Yeah. I want to know what Nick Bosa said when he saw that. Whoo!
I'm gonna be real. Shit. Cooper doesn't strike me as somebody who would hang out with Nick Bosa.
I don't think he would. I don't think that matters to Nick Bosa, right? But all I know It's a lot of people got excited by it. That's a lot of people's screensaver that don't cheer for the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
That was disgusting what he did to Derrick Henry. Absolutely gross. Remember we was watching Corey pulled up his high school highlights and then he did that thing to the one brother they had up there playing basketball in South Dakota. That's the same way I felt. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Is there a problem, Coop? Like, that felt like it was a little extra, bro. Felt like he was trying to prove a point.
The Eagles are so good, bro. The Eagles are so good.
I've seen him tackle other players. Let's see how he tackled what's the man name? Let's see how he tackled Scotty Miller, right? Like, let's go back this week and see how he was tackling Scotty Miller this week, man. Like, I don't feel like it was the same energy behind it. Like, no, fantastic tackle by him. By the way, the Eagles, man, bad vibes, good fucking team.
Terrible vibes, horrible vibes team.
Oh, the vibes are awful for the Eagles.
Horrible vibes team, but really
good though.
Extremely talented. Extremely talented. You see that? Also, you see how Howie built that defensive line.
Hey,
you see how Howie. You see,
if they think Andrew's Howie, then he got to do what Howie would do, which is, hey, bro, get that beef. Take Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. You see Nolan Smith jump over a chip block?
Mm-hmm.
That technically the wrong play, but shit, fuck it. He could do that. And then he came back 2 plays later, got sacked.
He took Jordan Davis, and then who? He took Jordan Davis 1 year.
Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter,
Jalen Carter. Smith. Yeah. Andrew Berry. If you listen, please pay attention.
Yeah, get the
to
dudes.
Your mentor.
This is what Andrew Berry. Get the dudes.
Get the dudes.
Yeah, when you got them top 10 picks, get the fucking dudes. How did they even get all those top 10 picks? They traded
with
Carson
somebody
Wentz?
the year.
Was that the Wentz?
No, it wasn't the West trade. It was something else. I forgot who they traded for. No, I think they traded their first. I think they had. I want to say they traded with the Saints or somebody like that. The year prior.
Because what draft?
Because I think they traded their first round pick before the Jalen Carter pick. The year before they traded their first round pick with somebody else and took the first rounder they had.
What did you ask? Wait, what did you ask?
How the fuck did they get the pick to get Jalen Carter?
Yeah, how did they get Jalen Carter?
I know.
Were they bad?
Look.
No, they weren't bad that year.
They weren't. They traded with Chicago. They traded up with Chicago.
Oh,
yeah.
I think
they traded up with Chicago. No, they had an early pick that year. I remember they had 2 early picks. We're talking about them getting Bijan.
Were they bad? No, I feel like they weren't bad though.
Hold on, because I'm looking it up right now. They were, I think, 2022.
Yeah, because their natural pick was 30. They went to the fucking Super Bowl that year.
I'm trying to think. What's the record?
Okay.
In 2020, 2020 they were 4-11.
Chicago traded this first round selection to Philadelphia in exchange for the 10th round selection in, I think, the year prior's draft. The 10th pick in a year prior's draft. Oh no. They had Philly had the 10th pick. And Philly got that pick from maybe New Orleans?
I think they got that pick from New Orleans because Philly sent the 10th pick and a 2024 fourth round pick to the Bears for the 9th pick.
Okay. So New Orleans traded a first round pick as well as a 2022 first and third and 7th round selection and a 2024 second to Philly in exchange for 2 first round selections in 2022.
Damn. That's what it was.
Who the fuck did they get in 2022? So they traded out of the first round in 2022?
Yeah.
What did New Orleans do with those picks?
Yeah. I'm looking it up right now.
By the way, I realized this with the Cavs. We are the Brooklyn Nets, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Where they look at us and go, damn, this could be us right now.
Damn. So they got in 2022, they got Chris Olave. I think that's a good pick.
They traded for Trevor Panic.
Oh, yeah. They got Trevor Penny. Yeah, Trevor Penny, 19.
Dude, it's fucking brutal. Whew. Nakobe Dean? No, they got Nakobe Dean in the second round in 2022, right? They flipped the 19th pick into the damn. Hey, Andrew, get busy, bro. Like, you have to get busy, my man. Like, you trying to pull off some shit like that, or you could just draft Mason Graham. Hey, what if we do all this? Mason Graham ends up being ass.
I'd be so upset.
But like, he's ass for like Tennessee. Would there be any accountability on it? Hey, look, a lot of people were shitting on Tavondre Sweat of the pre-draft thing, and I'm like, hey, he looks pretty good. Like,
yeah, he's actually really good. He's really good.
Yeah.
He got that fumble. You see him get that fumble? You see the stiff arm?
Stiff arm, homie. Yeah. He got the fat man swag. Like, it's really nice. All right. Yeah, Nick Benito was 64th in that pick. Yeah, Andrew's going to have to cook, bro. Andrew's going to have to cook. All right, real quick before we get out of here, what do you think? I hear stuff like, oh, what the Cavs are doing is unsustainable. But my question is like, is it unsustainable if you look at it from them sustaining what they're doing right now, which they're on pace to win 70 games? Which I don't think anybody's expecting the Cavs to win 70 games.
Nobody's expecting the Cavs to win 70 games.
How many games do you expect the Cavs to win? I'm thinking
coming into the season, I said if they got over 55, that's really successful.
Yeah. Right now, you've won so much at the beginning. Now you got to get to 60, right?
Yeah, I think 60 is probably the bar now. Because they're 24-3, 27 games?
Yeah, they just beat the fuck out of Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, that game was
they dismantled them.
So we're a third. So if you look at it like this, we're a third of the way into the season officially.
And the Cavs, if they win, I think 2 more games, have half as many wins as they had last year.
So if they're 24-3 now, if you multiplied it by 3, you know what I'm saying?
They would be a 71
like 24 says, yeah, it's like a 72 win pace. They're not going to win 70 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That if they win 70 games, like you basically have to make the finals.
Yeah, that would almost be unfortunate for them, right? If they were to win that many games, it's like they're not ready for the expectation that comes with winning that many games.
Yeah, you win 70 games, you at least have to get to the NBA Finals, at least. And to be honest with you,
you can't lose in the conference finals.
Yeah, if you win 70 games, you're supposed to win the championship that year. That's how that goes. So if they get, but you get 60 wins, that's still a crazy season. What's the last time the Cavs won 60 games? 09? Yeah.
Did they ever win it in LeBron's second round?
I don't think they did.
No.
I don't think they ever cracked 60.
LeBron ain't give a fuck about the regular season.
No, they knew what time it was. They knew what time it was.
That team was not built to win a bunch of regular season games. That team was built for the series. Right?
That team was built for 16 games. That's what that team was built for. But yeah, they won 60 games. That's a hell of a season.
And that's where I have like the argument with the people who are saying, well, like George Niang and all these guys who are shooting above their career averages, they're eventually going to go down. I think partially kind of true, right? Like I think the reason Karis LeVert is shooting above his average is because he's just getting way more open threes.
Yeah, the shot quality is significantly really better than it was in years past.
Like Ty Jerome, yeah, that's coming back to earth, obviously, if he gets enough opportunities to shoot, because he don't be taking good shots sometimes. Like he just takes shots. at times there, right? But
There's
like
some threes he takes where I'm like, just take one step in for me. Just take one step in.
But the guys who are gonna take decent shots, I think their percentages are probably gonna be career highs. Like Isaac Okoro, he only takes but the most open shots. Like the most open in rhythm shots. And he be smacking them now, but he's very selective.
Do it in the playoffs. Do it in the playoffs.
Hey, I would like it for him to, add a little bit more aggression to that move where he pump fakes and then goes really hard at the cup, right? Like I thought he'd had a nice iteration of it versus the Brooklyn Nets last night. By the way, something personal between the Cavs and the Nets. I don't know what it is, right? Maybe it's Jared Allen and Kenny Atkinson and Karis LeVert got beef, right? But they came out that game, Cole. The defensive intensity after they went down 7 points was absurd.
Best defense they played all year, I think.
Held them to fucking 40. They called one timeout in the first quarter after going down. What? They went down 9?
I think it was either 7 or 9, 1 and 2.
Yeah, they called one timeout at the beginning of the first and gave up 31 points afterwards.
Also, want to point this out because I've noticed it twice now. The stat padding they do for Evan Mobley when he gets in foul trouble and the game's a blowout is hilarious, and I love it.
Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, Evan was real strong in this one, right? Like he had a dunk where somebody was hanging off of him. Look, I want Evan to understand that time, right? When it's time to pour on, it's time to pour on. We need you to develop that instinct, right? Be more aggressive in those times, and then maybe when the game's close, he gets more aggressive. Because that's the one thing. Whenever these games are close and Evan's cooking, you look at that damn shot chart in the fourth quarter, you're like, why the fuck did he only take 4 shots?
He don't even be taking 4 shots most of the time. He takes like 2.
It's like 2. Like he made 6 threes against the Hornets, and then they just stopped letting them shoot.
Yeah, what did he have? And how many points did he have in the first quarter? Like 25?
He had like 88.
He had like, I think he had like 24, 25 in the first quarter. He finished the game with 41, which is still really good, career high, great night. But like he should have had like 50.
He could have had like 60, right?
Like I do like that they keep him engaged though. Yeah. I do like that they make a concerted effort to make sure that even though he's in foul trouble and he only had 2 points, Kenny was like, well, you out here now, so go shoot the ball, go get in the rhythm.
Hey, and there was one point where he just dribbled up to the 3-point line, did a little, and then cashed the 3, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, if he could do that, if he could do that like consistently, I'm not even like fucking around. If he can hit threes consistently going forward, it changes everything. Everything.
He did that, and Brad Daugherty audibly said, "Oh shit."
Oh man.
Hey, I was like, bro, if he out here doing that, like, because he's had some really impressive 3-point shooting nights this year.
He shoots with confidence, bro.
And it's clean too. Like it don't look like a big man shooting. It look like somebody who should be shooting that shit. And I'm like, oh, it's dropping now.
The craziest part is he don't take Isaac Okoro threes. You feel what I'm saying? Like not like he'll shoot him from the corner like Isaac does when he's wide open.
He'll take a three and make it, and you'll be like, that was Evan Mobley.
like I saw him take it like he walked into it in transition. Yeah, they passed him the ball and he shot it and hit it. I'm like, hey, I've seen him hit a step back 3 this year. I'm like, oh no.
No, that shit start going, bro. It's over with, dog. Like we might do it. Like, fuck.
I'm like, if he could hit threes like consistently, then you're talking about like, okay, maybe they could do it.
Look, here's how you know he's at a serious point in his 3-point development. The crowd don't even get excited no more when he shoot them threes, right? Like, when the big man shoot, oh, Tristan's about to shoot a 3, everybody get excited. Nah, man, it's like if anybody else shot that 3 when he shoot that.
People be disappointed when he missed. They be disappointed when he missed now.
Oh.
Like, damn, man.
Yeah.
Make that.
Yeah.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Dropping, and it's starting to get there. And then, like, I think with the 3, a more consistent jumper. I mean, the comp that I said this a couple years ago. It started to catch on, Colb. Takes time. My Anthony Davis comp for him, right? If the jumper starts falling with AD, it's over with. Cancel Christmas. Let alone if AD had a fucking 3-point shot. It could dribble and all that and pass and all that, which AD can do. Yeah, man. Imagine like Anthony Davis, but healthy with a consistent jumper.
To me, they play different ways. And like, I don't know if he'll ever be able to score as consistently as AD does when AD is going.
Because AD can get on that block and just confidently get to work.
You just get to work on anybody. You know what I'm saying? And be fine.
Evan's back buckets are a little bit more circumstantial, right? Like they're less intentional than AB's like, I can call for the ball, get it, not AB, AD can get to the ball, get the ball, get you a bucket, manufacture it out of thin air. Evan's not there yet.
He's taken some steps to being able to create his own offense.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing it a lot more now than he had ever done before.
Yeah,
especially when he gets the ball in transition a lot. You see it like when he's dribbling up, when he's like dribbling the ball across the floor. He's like doing things for himself more. I see like Kenny is trying to get him to a point where it's like, hey, bro, like we gonna need you at some point.
You're gonna need him to beat Boston, right? Like the thing is, if you beat Boston, Evans got to average 25. Like,
it's got to be somewhere around there. 22, 25, somewhere around there.
He's got to not only average 25, he's probably going to have to guard like Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, like a significant amount of time, right? Like if the Cavs want to beat Boston, given how they're currently constructed, maybe you could get away with like, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable about like Max Strus on Jason Tatum. You probably want to throw Evan on him at times, right? Where you really, really need a stop, or if you need somebody to be there on the switch with like Isaac Okoro, where you're like, okay, if he switches to him, we're fine with that, right? You're going to need Evan to get out the East, is my point, right? He doesn't have to be the best player on your team. That's going to be Donovan Mitchell. He's in his prime right now. It's unrealistic to expect Evan to carry you the whole season. But if you want to get out the East, you need Evan to be out there smacking threes, getting buckets, right? Getting you a healthy 20-something versus the Celtics, because that's how you can attack them and kind of be successful versus them and force them into different lineups.
The issue with the Celtics specifically, and you've seen it in the 2 games they played against the Cavs, what they're going to do against the Cavs is they're going to force that switch.
And they're going to hunt Darius Garland.
And Darius Garland is going to be guarding. It's either going to be guarding Jaylen Brown or he's going to be guarding Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And they're going to hunt that switch every single time down, especially if the games get close at the end of the game. They're going to hunt that every single time down. Now, the Cavs pretty much conceded it and just said, like, hey, we would rather like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have to take mid-range jump shots over Darius all game as opposed to them just getting wide open threes.
Yeah, it's opposed to the fucking it's opposed to the fucking three. What's the fucking guy's name? Al Horford.
And Kristaps
Porzingis me off. Oh my god! Like the Kristaps threes are just so nasty when they hit. Like either they brick really hard off the rim or like they smack the back of the net in the most disrespectful way you've ever heard a shot smack the back of the net. But every time Al Horford makes a three, it pisses me off, and he makes so many of them.
He's really good.
Yeah, and
he worked to become a crazy 3-point shooter.
I blame the fucking Sixers for this.
Yeah, it's all their fault.
It is their fault. The Sixers, I blame the Sixers for a lot of the problems in the NBA. But yeah, and like if you think about it like that, right? If they're gonna hunt Darius, you might have to take Darius off the floor, right? If he's having an especially bad night defensively and he's not responding with a good offensive night, you're gonna have to make up that production somewhere, which is why Evan needs to score, because Evan not gonna be off the floor that much. Right, you can get Jared off the floor because Al Horford can make those threes in that corner. And the way Jared plays defense, he's just not going to be very good help D on that. So, like, you're probably going to want to play some of these lineups where you got Evan out there. No, not George Niang at the fucking floor. Good Lord.
You're probably gonna have Dean Wade out there.
Dean Wade, right? Like you're gonna have to have people out there who cannot create on their own. Donovan can stay out there because he's good enough defensively to be fine out there, but you're gonna have to play more Max Strus. So
Cavs need wings, bro. Cavs need wings so bad.
They need wings, but like also if the price of the wing ain't right, then you can't just overspend to get one, especially like when you're this young. So you can fluke beat Boston, right? Like you can get on some fluke shit, but you really need Evan to hoop, right? Like none of these lineups work if Evan can't get you a clean 2025 in one series. They don't got to do it the whole playoffs. But against Boston, where they're going to be lighter, they're going to concede more of that inside. Like you need to be able to get your buckets off of them in order to keep that lineup viable. And in that way, defensively, you at least have some answer because not only are you funneling to Evan, but you can funnel to the perimeter to Evan.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I wanted to see what they do as far as roster construction. Because I know there's a report out there they're going to be buyers. They're looking at different kind of wings. Like I saw the Kyle Kuzma stuff. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I saw the Dorian Finney-Smith.
I heard word that Colb was okay with that. I'm like, wait a minute. No, absolutely cannot be the case. Like,
I wouldn't do it. It's one of those things where it's like he's better than what you got, but I don't know how much that helps.
I heard them say it's a first round pick for Kyle Kuzma. No, I'm good.
No.
That. You get the fuck absolutely out of my face. Multiple first?
No, absolutely not. Cameron Johnson. The Nets only want a first and like a decent player.
A first and a decent player. The Cavs can only trade one first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a first and like what would count as a decent player?
Karis LeVert's a decent player.
Would they be willing to take Max Strus? I'll give him Max Strus.
But Cameron Johnson's weird because honestly, he's more of a 4 than he is. Like you could play him at the 3.
Fine, because we have a lot of lineups where we want to play a smaller 4 though. Like
yeah,
we got
and
George
it's also
Niang
like,
out there. We be giving George Niang like 17 minutes at that spot. Can he make threes?
Somebody who Cameron Johnson?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. You know, like
man, look up his stats. Look up his stats real quick. Talk about can he make 3?
I don't watch that many Brooklyn Nets basketball games. Like,
he used to play on the Suns. He was on the Suns when they made the finals.
Bro, I wasn't watching no fucking Phoenix Suns. You think I was a part of people out here rooting for the goddamn Suns? I wanted them to lose every step of the way. I was happy when Chris Paul didn't get that ring. Yeah, I was rooting for Giannis. That was Giannis, right?
Yeah, that was Giannis here.
I wanted Giannis to win. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's a good 3-point shooter. 45? Yeah, I would absolutely do that. They can take George Niang, too. He's been playing good.
He has been playing good, actually.
Yeah. Actually, I think you kind of want him as like an extra kind of big.
He's not really a big, though.
We got to get one more big away from playing Tristan Thompson, man.
Honestly, people might think I'm crazy for saying that. I would see what JC Thor could do.
Is he big enough though? Like weight wise?
He like 6'10". I don't know. Weight wise, I don't know.
Yeah, he got the height, but like I think the Cavs, like their issue to me with how they have their bigs is like they have a lot of light bigs. Like I like Tristan there as an extra big because he's not light, he's very physical. I don't think you should add another super light big because that's a big problem that you run up when you go against Boston, where they could just go ahead and abuse that about you because you don't have an interior presence outside of Jared Allen, and they can get Jared Allen off the floor. Then it's Evan Mobley, but you got to use Evan at the perimeter. So if you could get somebody a little athletic that can also hold down like the paint, I feel like that would be something. I don't think that's going to be JT Thor.
I think JT Thor's like he's
Someone
really,
say DJ
he's
Burns.
really,
Good Lord.
DJ Burst is in Europe, but JT's really athletic.
Mm-hmm.
He's like really explosive. I would just give him a couple minutes just to see what he could do as a backup big, and just to see how he can handle himself out there.
Yeah.
I don't really think he's going to give you that much on offense.
Cam on an expiring.
Cam Johnson?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think
you got to.
If the price,
I think
is
you got to
low, yeah, if the price is that low, he's got to be on the expiring.
And I don't know if they could be. Honestly, like if they re-sign him, they 100% go be in the tax.
Yeah, and it's like, is that a good enough move to put you like? Because they also have to think because the Cavs like aren't in win a championship right now mode. So like, if you make a move to rent a player,
he is not an expiry actually.
He's got a couple years on that deal.
So he's got this year at 22. Next year he's at 20, so it actually goes down. And then the last year he's at 22. He's at 22 again, but the salary cap goes up so much it's only worth 13% of the cap.
All right. Well, they want how they feel about Max Strus.
So they could do it, but they would have to send enough salary back that keeps them out of the tax. I actually think they're $1 million, like they're like $1 million over the luxury tax apron right now.
They would have to send an extra player.
You would have to send an extra player. Yeah, you probably got to send an extra player just to make sure.
Cavs.
Yeah, if you're the Cavs, you probably have to send an extra player. So it would have to be something like Karras, because I think I don't know how much Karras makes though. So let me actually see. Because I think he makes, I want to say 17. Okay, so he's making 16.6. Yeah, so you're going to have to send out one more guy. You have to send out another player just to make that work.
How much you need to make up? You need like $5 million?
To get them out of the tax, you need like 6.
Who we got this at 6?
That. Let me look at Fanspo real quick, because that's actually a really good question. Fanspo.
Only person I could think of is maybe Niang.
Let me see them. The Nets. So it would be Karras because that's 16.6. And then Niang's making 8. Ooh. Had to be Dean Wade.
Fuck.
Well, let me see if it works with Niang, because he's making 8.5. So then you get Cam.
Is there somebody they can just throw in?
Let me see. Oh no, that actually works perfectly. Actually,
yeah. So what? Karras?
Oh no, I looked at it wrong. So the Nets are taking in an extra 2.6 million.
So the
Cavs are 1.3 over the tax. So this move would actually get them under the tax for this year.
The Cavs are the Nets.
The Cavs. So the Cavs are. Oh, it says they're 1.3 million under the tax. So that would actually clear up a little bit more space if they want to go like the buyout route. Let me see. What pick can they? I don't even know what pick they can trade.
It's like
I think it's 2020. I think it's like 2031 or something like that.
Because they have what? It's like a pick swap, a pick swap, a pick swap, a pick swap for like perpetuity. Because it really only started last year, right? No, we had a first round pick this year. It starts this year.
Okay, so let's say they did Karras, George Niang, and let's just say a top 10 protected first round pick in 2031. That gets you Cam Johnson, and it also clears up $2.6 million in space, which gets you like comfortably out of the tax.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something they wanted, like if that's something the Nets were willing to do, I'd probably do it. Max Strus comes back, so he's getting all those carries minutes.
Ty Jerome could be your scorer off the bench.
Yeah, it could work. It could work. It could definitely work.
It's putting a lot of pressure on Ty Jerome to stay healthy.
Harrison's been really good for the Cavs too, so
yeah.
But Cam Johnson is like if you put Cam Johnson in between Evan and Jared Allen as a shooter,
yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. Defensively, it's gonna get a little tricky.
Yeah, defensively it'd be a little bit tricky, but you can also run out different lineups. Like you'd be a little bit more flexible offensively.
And when I say knockdown shooter, I'm talking like knockdown. He open, he hitting that.
Yeah, because like I can see this. Because it feels like Karras is like kind of really hit a groove here with Atkinson that I don't see him hitting with anybody else. It's one of those things where like I don't want to be watching Caris LeVert in the playoffs and think, man, we really didn't make a move because we wanted to keep you. Because like Caris is capable as good as he is bad. It get a little tricky. It get a little tricky, especially because you keep Dean Wade in that scenario, right? You said we don't got to get rid of him. It's just George Niang, Harris, but that bench, like that's the thing. Like, oof. I mean, maybe you could just finesse it because you're probably not going to need as much perimeter scoring from I guess you 5 because you're going to have like another lockdown shooter to kind of penetrate off of, so you can kind of run Darius a lot with the second unit.
Plus, you got to remember Max Strus is coming back, so that will move him to the bench.
Yeah,
and you move him to the bench, so that helps you a little bit.
But then, like the only thing is like right now, the only true second unit guy that can get his own shot is like Ty Jerome.
Pretty much.
And I don't feel comfortable with just one guy who can get his own shot on the second. I want to. So maybe you can finesse. You would have to put Kenny Atkinson to work. But if you trust him and he likes to move and he likes what he could do there, then I see no reason not to do it.
Yeah, they're gonna see what they can get for Karras. Karras is in the last year of his deal, like he's an expiring contract, and they're not gonna re-sign him to be in the tax.
I tell you, bro, you can't sell higher on Karras than right now. Okay.
Like, you literally can't sell higher on Karras than you can right now. Like you could probably convince him to take Cam Johnson for Karras, and plus he's an expiring contract, so his deal's off the books, and they're gonna have
They're trying to free up a bunch of space, right? They're trying to get max space.
They have max space right now, and so like you trade for Karras, his contract is gone after the season is over with, so that doesn't have any impact on your cap space. And you get a first round pick for your trouble, and you're trying to get rid of Cam anyway. So honestly, it could make a ton of sense for the cap for both teams. To be honest with you, it can make sense.
And then Karras will end up on the Cavs again.
That should be funny.
Hey, bro, it's happened before. like he know where his bread butter. I think if I were him, I would want to go to Kenny Atkinson in the offseason. Look how good he played when he with them. Where else he gonna go?
It just depends on what the Cavs want to do.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff here, man. I think this has been an interesting pod so far. Curtis, come on up here, man. Let's clap it up for the producer behind the scenes, y'all. Come on, Curtis. Yeah. There you go. All right. Bless you. Appreciate you being on the show. Curtis, you got any parting thoughts for the audience?
No parting thoughts. No, good pod as always.
Mm-hmm. Got your Seahawks gear on. You really over the Browns, huh? Because I know the Seahawks ain't even win, did they? No, they had a pretty embarrassing game because then Geno get hurt.
No, they got the belt to ass treatment on Sunday. I was pissed.
You still repping. Good for you.
Hey, I went the other squad. I saw Jameis throw multiple picks in person on Sunday, and I saw Geno get hurt on Sunday night.
I just know your face was priceless when Jameis threw that first interception in the red zone.
I shook my
I know
head,
you just stood there and looked at it like, bro, what?
No, because my dad said something slick. He's like, James gonna throw a pick. I'm like, no, we not. And he threw a pick. I'm like,
I can say nothing.
You can feel it, bro. When you can feel the irresponsibility like palpable on Jameis sometimes, it's like, hey, bro, he about to do something crazy. Thing is, he would be a pretty good quarterbacks coach. He just makes terrible decisions in the heat of the pressure. Like he knows what that's what I think drives coaches crazy about him. He knows better. Why do you think Jameis always looked like that after he throw these interceptions, man? He knows better. He looks like a man who knows better. But he can't do better.
Can't do it, man. He can't do it. Can't do it.
Did we miss any super chats?
We got a couple.
We got 4.
Let's get them on the screen. Let's get them on the screen. Let's get them on the screen.
Iceman the Boss said, that breakdown made me believe in Drew. Damn. I think he's talking about Drew Aller. I don't know.
Yeah. The man from Medina. We'll see what he does next year.
Yeah, we'll see. All right.
He hit the portal.
You should. That's what I would.
Did Darian hit the portal? He went to Duke, right? Darian Manley. Tulane.
He
went to Tulane.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I think he hit the portal. He went to Duke. I don't know why he went to Duke.
No, who was Duke's starter? Didn't Duke starting quarterback hit the portal too?
Yeah,
last year Riley Leonard. Did they have another starter hit the portal?
Yeah, Malik Murphy hit the portal for some reason.
That's crazy, man. My man.
You don't even be knowing why dudes hit the portal anymore. They just be hitting the portal.
I was shocked to hear that like Darian hit the portal because I'm like, oh, he beat out somebody. He was like a 3-star. He beat out somebody, had a really good year at Tulane, and like you just gonna dip? Like, damn, like whatever happened to building on your success? Wonder if people getting like if coaches getting jobs or something like that, because that has to be what's going on there.
Probably. The second super chat is apparently Winston told Kevin to bench him for DTR. I don't think that's the case at all. I think Kevin just got fed up with Jameis because I was at the game when Jameis threw his third pick. Kev had that look of like he's not disappointed, but he's just angry. And when Jameis went to the bench, Kev sat down and talked with him for a little bit. It wasn't like in a like scolding tone. He was like talking to him, like, you know, giving him some understanding, and then he walked away. I'm like, yeah, Jameis is getting benched.
Well, it might be technically right. It might be I didn't quit. I didn't get fired. I got quit type thing. Where Jameis threw that last interception and you saw the look on his face and he said, I understand if you need to make a move, because he knew what was coming, right? Like kind of protected his grace. But I wouldn't be surprised if we watch Hard Knocks and we find out that's the case. But like, you know, when he wasn't saying that during practice last week, right? Like that's not when he was out here trying to get benched. It was after he threw an interception, more than likely.
All right, another super chat is from Iceman again. Have you seen Sav Williams from TCU fits Kev well? I think he's talking about Savion Williams. I think
running back.
Sav Williams. I'm looking over right now.
I've not seen him. Have you seen him, Cole?
I have not.
I've heard of him.
Hey, look, man. I'm going to just tell you right now, lock into my main channel. I'm going to do so many breakdowns of all of these prospects, bro. Like the whole month of February is just going to be me looking at college tape. Like that's going to be the whole month. Probably like a dude a day.
Yeah, Savion Williams is a wide receiver from TCU. He's a senior this year.
Yeah. I'm going to make sure by the time I get to that Senior Bowl, bro, I ain't unfamiliar with a single name on that goddamn roster.
Man, I'm over here looking at it. You talk about receivers. I already know what receivers I want the Browns to draft. I already know.
They got some good receivers already, though. Hey, man, we got to talk about Jerry Jeudy's like actually like really good. Like,
yeah, it's crazy
14 targets. Like when nobody else is a threat in that wide receiver room and he gets 100 yards, gets a good defense, and the quarterback play was ass. I'm like, hey,
you understand that he's gotten almost 800 yards in 7 games.
Yeah, and he's like popping 70 off like at least in these games. He got like 9 70+ yard games. No, man, like that might be real.
He had a little bit more than 200 receiving yards in the 7 games he played with Deshaun Watson. 7 games he played with Jameis Winston, he has almost 800.
I would like to point out that 200 that he had with Deshaun Watson, very impressive because probably 40% of Deshaun Watson's output. Like, you adjust for inflation.
I'm sorry.
You adjust for inflation on that dog. That's probably like a 1,400 yard season.
More than that. If Jameis would have been the starter from the beginning, legitimately he'd have he's having a 1,500 yard season. Like legit.
And then now the Browns are getting the ball with him, like running. I'm like, this is why he went before CD Lamb. Like it's starting to make sense. Like
it's insane. He's good. Like he's really good.
Yeah, no, that is. I can't. Why was he so bad in Denver? Well, he wasn't bad. He just was underwhelming. They must have had him in the wrong fit.
It was a combination of things. I guess I think when it came to him and Peyton got the most out of him until he realized that offense isn't going to go anywhere. So he decided to move off him before, it got even worse. And it's not like he wasn't bad before Denver. It was like after he broke I think it was his finger in Seattle, decline was there, but no one really paid attention to it. Like I kind of rewatched the tape during those last couple of games when he was in Seattle. I'm like, yeah, this is not good at all. And he goes to Denver, and it's kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm not expecting him. Yeah.
Who's talking about Jerry?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm like, what?
I was confused.
Seattle got to do with this.
About Russ. I was talking
about Russ. What does Seattle have to do with any of this?
We've been on there for 3 hours. It's okay.
Yeah, oh my God.
It's all good. We got any more super chats?
We got one more. It's from Iceman. I'd use Hunter as DB with offensive packages.
Yeah, he's playing corner, and then they'll probably get like 10 to 15 snaps on offense.
Don't that feel like – here's my thing with Travis Hunter. It kind of feel like drafting Reggie Bush second overall.
I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It feels like we're going to look at that and be like, ugh, like he was a once-in-a-generation college player, but like, is he going to be able to be healthy enough to do all the things you want to do with him? And then when you start talking about like the second overall pick and we talking about gimmick like packages for him, man, that scared the fuck out of me. Like, I ain't going to lie to you. Like, that shit starts scaring the fuck out of me. Like,
I would just put him at DB and keep him there. No point in.
And even then, it's going to be hard for him to stay healthy.
I play him at corner and just call it a day.
I was like, we could have the most high risk, high reward injury report in the NFL if we add him with Denzel Ward.
I'm cool. And not because Travis isn't good. Travis is an amazing player. He's an amazing prospect.
Well, we need somebody who always going to be at work, dog, in that secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
You need somebody sturdy. Okay. That's what Martin Everson was supposed to provide, and maybe he could provide it next year. He's not providing it this year, which is, hey, big sturdy, right? Like, not going to be anywhere, always going to hold it down. You couldn't be your number one corner if need be. But that's really my whole hold up with him right here. Someone said DTR gonna get hurt on Sunday. Probably. That's the thing. Like, Jameis gonna find his way back on that fucking field, Cole. Like, don't think you've seen the last of him. And,
I never said we did.
Hey, might fuck around and beat the Ravens again.
Please don't, Jameis. I need 5 picks that game. Season's
They
over.
play the Bengals this Sunday. And that defense, I don't know.
Hey man, over or under DTR yards for you to be happy. Like it's got to be at least over 240, right? Like,
Yeah, honestly, man, anything less than 250, I know everything.
nah, 250 is a little tough, right? Because you can have a really good game and get 230, 235. You efficient.
Man, that defense is terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
The worst. We're talking like worst defense in the league. Bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you can still have like a really efficient 235-yard performance. Like you could have like a 3-touchdown, 235-yard game. That's not unheard of.
It's not unheard of.
Yeah,
we can't run the ball
at all. Like 187.
Yeah, Cleveland can't run the ball at all. Like watching it in person and watching it on film, like the running game it's bad. It's really bad.
Were there the one game they ran it decently.
Listen, gotta fix that old line, man. I also need a new offensive line coach.
I don't think it's his fault, man.
Nah.
I think we're doing a lot blaming him. Like, look at the personnel.
It's old. It's just
gotten
old.
Yeah, it's not Dickerson. Like, I think we're blaming the wrong guy there because all this shit was happening under Callahan too.
Yeah, man, it's time to.
Because look, Joe Flacco was throwing the ball how many times in garbage time?
Like probably 30 or 40. I have to check.
Yeah, and Bill was there for that. Right. I don't think it's the offensive line coach or why we have to resort to these things. I think it's just kind of where we're at. And to give Dickerson some credit, like I thought some of the run schemes that they pulled up in this game were actually quite useful at times, or at least for a little bit of time, right? Like they did some stuff with Jerome Ford. I'm like, okay, they got him on the edge, got him outside, let him be where he's better at. I thought there were some decent runs for Nick Chubb in this one, some delayed handoff situations. Like, I don't think offensive line coaches is bad as people are saying it is. Like, who the fuck gonna coach Jed Wills? How many people done tried to coach that motherfucker? Like,
that's true.
Yeah, like what you gonna do? Coach Jermaine Ifedi to be better? He is scared for his life every time that fucking ball is snapped. He is old and he don't play left tackle. Like he is a lifelong right tackle. He's 35 years old, and then you got like a dog across the room. Of course he gonna jump off sides. Like
autistic kid said a competent coach would tell Travis it's CB.
Is cornerback. I mean, like, even then, if he played cornerback, you still got the injury concerns, right?
Less of an injury concern than him playing wide receiver, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. Like, there's no thought about putting him at wide receiver.
like way less of an injury concern than him play wide receiver. So,
and like, what kind of corner is he? Like, is he more of a zone versus man corner? Like, he has really good zone instinct, so I think he's probably more of a zone guy. So,
he's a zone corner.
Yeah, and then like if he's a zone corner though, that makes me more worried about the injury concerns because that's somebody who's going to be banging a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going to have to come down on plays. Like you're going to have to tackle a lot. Like Denzel gets away being the size he is because he's just a man guy. Like he does some zone, but he's a man guy, and he gets hurt when he comes down his zone to kind of go into the tackle box and get it like a tight end or somebody like that. But I don't know. There's something about Travis where I'm like, feels like Reggie Bush going second overall. Really talented player. Probably like the best two-way player to ever play college football. Legitimately. Kind of a shame that Colorado could never play in a meaningful game with him. But that's just Colorado's fault. I'm interested to see what Colorado be next year, but yeah, I think Travis is. I don't know where I land on him. I really don't. He's the one where I'm like, yeah, Mason Graham, yeah, Abdul Carter, oh yeah, Ashton Jetty, yeah, Travis Hunter. Let me think about that, man. Let me think about that.
Yeah, Travis would be in the category for me.
Because it feels like in 3 years we're gonna be hearing like, oh yeah, you just gotta put him in the right spot to be successful type shit from him, or like, how do you get the most out of all of his talents and having this motherfucker return punts and shit? And I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, man. Like, if I want to draft somebody in the top 3, dog, I want to put him at that position and never fucking think about it again. But that's it for the show, y'all. Y'all have a great one. Peace.